what do you mean by insecurity?
When I say insecurity, you have, what's the word? You know, I got third grade education.
Well, let me ask you a question.
When you have a fear, when you have a fear of something.
Okay, now if so, you're saying a man is secure if he allows other men around his woman. He's secure.
He's secure within himself.
What makes him secure that he allows men around his woman that he know
that nigga what makes if she choose to go that way with that man, then she's never been for me. That's up to her, and I move in the way that I need to move.
What makes him secure though? Because he knows that he can't control her, and so if she cheats, it is what it is. That makes him secure.
Period.
So
damn, for real.
You know I love you've been rocking with me when they had 10 people watching this motherfucker.
Go ahead, ask your question. What's your question?
Well, you know, just in terms of even an old friend, you know, just considering what was being said, I think Illa has a point. I think you guys have a point in terms of he'd been a friend for a long time. In my head, I'm like, the fuck that mean to me? You know, like that's just how my head, like when I be thinking this shit, I'm a husband now, right? Oh, I don't, what you did generally, I don't, it is what it is, right? But what can he do for her? Can she go to him for the support? Can she go to him for money?
None of that shit.
I'm gonna let you finish answering.
Can she go to him for money?
No, she can't. That's my job.
Can she go to him for spiritual guidance?
No,
that's your job. Shit.
Exactly.
Can she go to him for protection?
No,
like man, they go fighting things of that nature. The strong boys would be taken and separated from their family, stuff like that.
Yeah, and they were they're used to. Yes, that's
okay.
That happened.
So when we're criticizing black men, if you think it takes a couple generations to change, right? And we just went through some of the things you acknowledged happened to black men and were targeted specifically just 2 generations ago with your your generation. And then we come at black men like we did it all to ourselves. You don't think there's an apology of some sort in order?
Can I just ask this, Mr. Fantastic? What was the reason that she would mention your pension? Because she's not going to just do that out of nowhere. What happened to make her say, "Oh, I want your pension"? Or was she looking to divorce you for something? Just saying something that you may have done. She wanted to divorce you, and so she mentioned it, and then you beat her to it.
I've explained this at least. This is the last time I'm gonna tell y'all this. We were living in 2 separate things called geobashing, right? She was the one accusing me of doing shit that I wasn't doing. I told her, if you go to this and you keep accusing me when I'm not doing anything. I was in her hometown with her people around all her folks for free.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear about something. Shit. I did not ask him for his pension because that had children outside of our marriage.
You left him for free.
Y'all always get on here.
Listening.
So shut the up.
You not
y'all
listening.
Always get on here.
You not
try
listening.
to dismiss women. Stop
you
trying to
not
be
listening.
in abusive relationships, whether it is
you are not listening
or not.
Bro, if you had 2 people sitting there, right? They had a one night stand. He put the rubber on, and you got to tell one of them they was wilding, and one of them they was wilding. You would say the woman was wilding.
Mm-hmm.
She should have made that nigga put a condom on.
Yeah, especially because niggas' dicks be dirty.
What level of responsibility? Well, not what the stats say. What level of responsibility would it be on? So he didn't put a condom on. She got pregnant. It's a one night stand. Who would you put the onus on for that happening more?
If I had to choose the woman because she gives the access.
Damn. So she should have made sure he put a condom on his dick.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Like that. Wow.
Look like Mr. Fantastic was right.
Brother.
Okay. Damn. So putting a baby.
That need to be a mom is huge for women. So depending on who the woman is, a woman with a kid is less desperate to have a baby with any goddamn body.
Okay. All right. But you're saying she's 28. The clock starts getting louder and louder.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the danger comes in.
She have a baby by a homeless person. She don't give a shit. She ready to pull up on her bridge with no panties on.
That guy from he just came home, right? He just got out of jail. What's his name? Meeks. Jeremy Meeks. I think he was a prisoner.
Yes.
He got with a lady.
Hair. Yeah.
He got green eyes and all that.
They ready to get pregnant by that dude. Ain't got no job, no nothing. That's a perfect example. Yep.
Damn, man.
The dude with the green eyes, she wants her baby with. So that's what I'm saying. She find a whatever type of dude that would make a pretty baby. She online saying, I'm on birth control. You ain't got to wear no condom. Nigga ain't got no job, no nothing, but he got green eyes. She bust it open.
Looks like we're telling the truth.
The problem, y'all come on these panels and you want to crucify black women. Your intention,
no.
As we talk about a lot of times, y'all talk about intention and you want us to follow you. We can't follow you if your intentions are not.
I don't
good.
want you to follow me. You would get tired.
Here we go again.
You couldn't walk that far.
You're trying to make it about me.
You couldn't follow me because you get tired.
On this panel, and you came on here to spew your hate for black women, and you are justifying it.
And it bothered you.
You're justifying it by coming on here and making it seem as if you are teaching us something.
I didn't say I was teaching a thing, ma'am.
You can't.
Did I tell you I was teaching you?
Any person that you don't like.
Did I was telling you I was teaching you? Did I say I was teaching anything?
That way.
Ma'am, did I say I was teaching anything?
No, but you got on this panel with the intention of telling us why men don't approach.
What I would recommend is you you get a job, right? You work it, maybe in an industry that you could thrive in. Learn it, right? Without the risk, build a foundation. That way, when you jump into it, you're ready, Are we having a conversation? Are you here? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Are you responding to me, you think, or?
Who else am I responding to? Mm-hmm. I'm telling you what I hear. You asked me what I hear as far as that question.
I know, but as I'm breaking it down for you, is it?
Move on.
You're right.
Let it go.
You are partway chivalrous to like you and yours. Is that truly chivalry? Is it just you protecting your investment or your asset, which is your life? And I want to go back to maybe that isn't as chivalrous because you're protecting your investment, which is your wife. But somebody smacks her
investment.
But the woman on the bus, the old lady on the bus is standing up with a cane, and you gonna sit there and sit your happy hips, your wide hips down that bus, and watch her stand up on that with that cane the whole entire time. That's not chivalry.
Are you saying that me protecting my wife is less chivalrous than me giving my seat up for some old hag?
I think, are you
no.
Are you really chivalrous if you are only protecting your investment?
It's mine, right?
Right, you're protecting what's yours, but are you truly chivalrous if you don't give up the seat on the bus?
A woman that does things for me is enough. I don't need extra girlfriend.
Maddie, you made the point. You made the point.
Yeah, let me make a quick point, right? I think this conversation can trigger women, but to be fair, right, to where Beans was going, because it's not a checkmate, but I understand your point, is that women don't actually believe that they're bringing value to guys like that, because otherwise they would be encouraging men outside their man to have more female friends, and they don't. They actually discourage. Hey, you don't need no female friends. But wait, women are so valuable and important. What you mean I don't need no female friends? It actually shows you what women think.
Even women think about that shit.
There's a lot of nuance there that you could examine.
That's a great point.
That's clear. I agree.
That's from the biological standpoint.
Indeed.
Now they try to change that culturally into women don't have a definition. There's nothing that actually defines it. What ended up happening was this, though. The advent of feminism actually took away what femininity was by saying it was antiquated, it was old school, it was slavery, it was oppressive. But then they turned women into fake men. So everything that a woman do valuable is what men do. She go out work, she go out and make money, she go out and get a degree, she go out and get education, she go out and buy things, she go out and she can afford things. These are all the things that men have been using to measure themselves and whether or not they've been successful or valuable or things of that nature. Women had a different set of things.
Been only pursuing so much for the attention of women. This is all, it sounds so new to me when I'm hearing it, but maybe I didn't have this perspective before. Calvin was good. B Love, what's up? but it's just like why we do things. Where does our moral code actually come from? How far are we willing to go to stand on it? Does your moral code have contingencies? You know, I have the clips queued up, but I'm just thinking through it. You know, the double standards. How long can we? I thought they just were a thing, but I guess they have like there's a reason for it.
Direction, choose your own path.
You know, this is the home of We Major, Me Frosty, Unfamous, and the restricted clothing brands. Let's get it.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. We even got hoodies. Let's not forget our classic tees. Direction, choose your own path.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
This Might Be Risky sponsorship package is here. Have your ad run on our live streaming episodes, linked in the video description and attached to our many hot take clips. The channel is fast growing with thousands of views and subscribers. Don't miss your chance to grow your business on one of the fastest growing platforms on YouTube. Join the family today. This Might Be Risky. Email us at thismightberisky@gmail.com if interested. Hashtag Indeed, hashtag do the right thing.
Yo, check. Excuse me. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. DJ HAMP Stampede, we in the building. Popping. Made it here, man. Salute the Tuesday, man. You know, with the so-called holiday and all that kind of throws shit off. Sometimes you get days confused, especially when you have to report to nobody office. You feel me? But we here, man. Salute. This cold kind of kicking my ass, but it is what it ought to be. You know what I mean? Wow. Ain't no days off, man. Love C said it best. I don't know where she got it from, so I credit her with it. She said, "You rather work 100 hours for yourself than 40 for somebody else." You heard? That's a fact, man. Sherelle will be up here in a minute. How am I? Let me see. There we go. Check.
It's a stampede! DJ HAMP the Stamp. DJ HAMP the Stamp.
There we go. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Y'all can hear me well now. I'm good now. Salute. Let me see you in the chat and we get it popping, man. Rock Solid was good. Wow. Riri in the building.
Perfect.
Salute. Not by behavior. We got a new command for Nightbot. Thank you to Daily Living Capital. Mel, you already know what's popping. Quincy in the building. Salute. Good. I like it. Mr. Williams was goody. Good to see you as always. Aaron, Shalawam, E-Dub in the building. Salute, my G. Hope all is well. Side in the building. I got Miss Jilly. Make sure I say what's up to Miss Jilly in the chat, of course, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me see. CC. Perfect. Thank you for the support as always. Shit like that. For the 20 ball. Through the Cash App before the show even started, man. Salute to CC. Excuse me. For the first 20 ball of the day. That life was goody. Perfect. That's why I ain't see you yesterday. Hope all is well, man. Good to see you. Daily, of course, putting in that work. Yeah, man. It's here. Risky weekend in DC. Perfect. August 1st to the 3rd. If you can get there on Thursday, do so. Perfect. Event details to come, but I got most of the shit locked in already. You know what I mean?
Shit like that.
It's gonna be epic. EJ was shaking. Hope everything's everything. I like it, man. AC, I ain't see you yesterday. Dr. Steele was popping. Good to see you. Impressed, of course, putting in work. Callie putting in work. Perfect. Let's get it. Nay, what up? Salute. The whole rundown, man. We got to make sure all these clubs stay up and running for sure. Get your brother whiskey, man. Let's get it popping. Sozon, salute, kid. Good to see you. American Tradesman, of course. Bino in the building. Homeboy, Shalom. Melly Mel was shut. James in the building. Salute. Like, share, subscribe. Big Lee was popping. Good to see you, man. Let me see. Young Money in the building. Salute. Keisha was goody. Like Mike, what up, my boy? Hope all is well. Rum was goody. Hope everything is everything, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Perfect. DC is it, man. Interesting. Yo, get your ticket to DC right now. It's early bird. When I tell you it's gonna be popping, just trust me on that. Miss Jennifer was goody. A little, man. I don't really know. I can't really tell the difference, But they gave me antibiotics this morning. Perfect. They tried to give me that over-the-counter shit, but that shit don't really be working. Right? Yo, Sporty's in the building. SPS in the building. Salute the Beto. Make sure we drop the link. Go subscribe to them brothers. Got a clubhouse.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yo, man, I don't sleep a lot, yo. I think that's what really be. I think that's what be kicking my ass. I ain't gonna hold. Like I don't sleep enough, man. Or you know what it is? I'm restless. So even if I lay down at like 8 or 9 o'clock, I don't go to sleep though, or I'll be like half sleep. I don't think I ever get to what's that shit called? Like REM sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah! Now that's how you kill somebody, my brothers. You get right up on the motherfucker and bam! Throw his brains all over the sidewalk in broad daylight.
Rock the ball, baby.
Why you got your head on your forehead like that?
I'm not trying to catch nothing up here with you, sick ass.
Yo, real shit though. Yeah, I don't. I think that's what it gotta be, cause I eat okay aside from them 400-pack muffins. Feel me? And then I work out. Know what I'm saying, but when I sleep, I'm always awake though. I wake up off of anything, like anybody walk by me and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I wonder where you get that from.
I don't know. Even my wife wake me up. She gotta wake me up and like set. Like she can't just like I don't know.
You can't. You one of them people that can't go back to sleep.
I don't know if I be sleep. Like if she get up, I would say 90% of the time I hear it. Or if somebody walk by, I hear it. I don't know how to explain it. It just, I don't know. I just always thinking this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw you yesterday. I was like, man, look at this nigga dying up there.
Yeah, man. No, we gonna make sure this is a good one. I don't know how long we gonna be up here. Sleep and garlic. Okay. Indica. Morning seeds. Damn, okay. All the routines. Yeah, I kind of yeah. Ginger tea. Okay, so everybody a Dr. Sebi in this motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah.
Shaw was popping.
That stuff only work when you don't eat meat.
Davey, what up? Miss Bells, what up? I'm 100, what up? They're living with the 2004. Another round of ginger tea. Yeah, man, real shit. Yeah. Calvin was goody. Huh?
Do you think that my hat is a corduroy hat?
No, it's like maybe.
Huh?
I don't really know, to be honest.
It's a basket hat. You can't tell.
Nah.
It's a straw hat, but they was arguing me down trying to tell me that it's a corduroy hat.
Where is that?
Right here.
Let me see.
You see it?
Yeah, it's a straw hat. Who said it was corduroy?
Stupid ass sporties.
Oh no. Salute, Scorpio, you already.
They came up with it's a corduroy hat.
No, I got smoking, dude. Nathan was good. Oh, he said good morning to you. He said shit to me.
Hey Nathan.
What 10-15 say about DC?
You put up James comment yet?
Yeah, I already said what's up to James. I'm looking for so who cares? Nigga? She got a birthday every year. You know what I'm saying? You missed this one. She ain't gonna remember it. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Yo. So this was interesting to me. You know what sparked this topic in my head?
The cheeky conversation with Tay.
Cheeky conversation with Tay. You know what I'm saying? True, what up? And the Travis Hunter shit too.
Okay.
Because the Travis Hunter thing, right? Niggas been having a nose open. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
The more you tell a nigga not to do something, the more he gonna do it, right? You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Especially the chick, because he's sleeping with her, he laying next to her, right? And you can't see the forest through the trees because oftentimes you choose not to, right? Mm-hmm. I say this a lot. We turn red flags into yellow flags, right? You know, and then when people try to put context around the particular conduct, you only see one interaction. You don't know the derivative of said interaction, you know? And oftentimes you'll see somebody act out overtly is because they've been triggered covertly. You know what I'm saying? So, like as an example, you know, like he was at the game with his girl or some shit, and she kept pulling on him, talking about why he was over there with them girls and etc. Right? And I think Lee has said it like, you don't know how many times he got smoked before talking to girls or dealing with chicks, and then when she overprotective or insecure outside, you know, we'd be like she wilding, right? But we don't know the details. But I think we know how niggas' conduct can be, right? So I'm not saying that about Travis, but when people make those assumptions, I think they're more safe than people get this shit credit for. You know? Like a motherfucker be like, I was watching a video, you know, you watch some fight videos. Remember they used to come out all the time when we was younger? Well, World Star and shit. And one dude was sitting there, steady getting bullied and picked on. They was doing all some stuff. So he get up and boof the nigga, slam him, bomb, right? The police or the teacher come grab him. You know what I'm saying? But he only acting that way because he been antagonized several times.
Yeah,
you know?
they get the bear. They always get the bear, not the people poking it.
Yeah, fact. Pause. So that just interested in me. So when I look at like Travis Hunter, his nose open, I think the experience is gonna show him what he need to know going forward. You know, and even then, right? Somebody will make someone will make an impression on you in which you start to make concessions. You know, there's things that you learn conceptually, right? And I got the clip queued up. There's things that you learn conceptually. So like boxing, right? If you throw let's say you throw a left hook, right? And I block it here, right? Comes off here. Boxing 101, I throw a 2, right? Right?
Why
Are you listening?
Scarred up.
People, right? So, boom, I throw the 2, right? So, that's boxing 101, right? So it'll teach you that, you know, but everybody knows boxing 101. But when you start to box, right, and you start to get different experience, different people that you sparring with or fighting and etc. What I do now, right? They throw the hook, I get hit with the 2, right? I mean, I block it here, but I actually use their momentum, right? They hit me, boom, I go like this, you see? And then I throw the shovel hook to the body though. So I use that momentum, boom, boom, you know? Or I throw a 5, so I uppercut. But see, but boxing 101 says boom here automatically. But if you don't have that experience to like you've actually done it, you're not gonna be the best you can be. But the concept is there. You see what I mean?
I mean, yeah, and then the whole process of getting hit in the face, right? Because it's like even if you know all the moves, and then you were saying one time the way you breathe out your mouth, not out your nose. It's just like in practice, you learning how it really go down. Because watching it is one thing, and then practice is another thing. But when you in there with somebody trying to kill you,
yeah,
it's a whole different ball game.
And then, yeah, hell yeah, and it'll be like this, right? Really, they'll say you got to give one to take one. Pause, right? The truth is, when you actually gotta take one, you got to see if you got the intestinal fortitude for that shit.
Because you can hit anybody, but when you get hit back, it's like when them slap matches. You seen the slap matches is where they be like putting the palm up and slapping each other.
Yeah.
And you be thinking the one person struggling, he's like, you looking like he in fall. Like, comes back with something else, bro.
Real shit. There's this thing, right? It's this. You know how you be doing this shit?
Clock it.
But it's actually this much difference that make football players from niggas who play football. So niggas who play football, right, Rel? Look at my fingers. They flinch this much before contact. Look. See this? Look.
I see.
This much before contact, they flinch. Football players, no flinch at all before contact. And that little bit of difference is what makes the difference about who a football player and who just out there playing football.
You flinch?
Hell no. 100 kids on the team, right? They say, coach, you think we could play in college? No. Oh, nope. What you mean, coach? You good high school player. Yeah, you really good. 9 of y'all gonna play in college though, out of 100 of y'all. And I think it was like 8 or 9 of them who actually did. 2 guys actually went in the NFL from that team of 2019. They just got into the league this year. Congrats to them. You know, but you don't know that shit though if you're just looking at concepts, right? You got to actually go through it. And so now I take these sports analogies and I hope that they resonate because you just see it, right? So boom, I block it here. I come because he already threw this hook. So he open, right? So I catch it or I block it, catch him. I block it and I instantly fire, right? Because my hand's always coiled, right? Boom, boom, right? But now when I take his momentum, boom, he hit me with it. And then I go a 5 to his body or to his chin. Now I done took his momentum, transferred that energy, you know? But you got to know through doing that shit a lot, you know? Or seeing what don't work.
I just saw like a boxer. He had a shut eye. He was doing an interview and he was like, he lost it. He was like, the person he was fighting was learning him as they was fighting. He was like, all of my routines, all of my techniques, he's picking it up. The next round, he just got my shit down pat. So that's where the IQ comes in.
Yeah.
You have a boxer's IQ. You're not a rookie at this. You know how to counter, you know how to move. So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that be the thing. And that boxing IQ, and that's the thing about Terrence Crawford that I think separates him from a lot of the people he's boxing. He got a bunch of different styles and he learns the opponent so quickly. You know, he's thinking so much, right? His feet are always in the right place. And that's because he's studying, you know, for 2 or 3 rounds. Tank also, because if you listen to Tank, you wouldn't think he's super duper intelligent, right? Or people would think he's not smart. He's unlearned, right? So he doesn't know like how to grammatically speak and such. But he's intelligent because his diagnoses based on what he does know are emphatic. You know, I mean, are impeccable, I should say.
Same with Mayweather. I don't know why his name wasn't in my head.
Mayweather.
He can't, but he's smart.
Smart as hell. He also that he got uber talent too. Like if you trying to learn how to box and box like him, it's not gonna go how you think it's gonna go. But I liken that though, as we transfer it to something that's more palatable that we seemingly talk about on a day-to-day basis, is these relationships. You know, is these relationships and the conversations, you know, in said relationships and how they go. And so what do we do with concepts as opposed to real life experience? Hence the clip that you made mention of. Right. And I was looking at your face not the whole time, but enough in which I was trying to get a read on like what you thought about their back and forth. And where, you know, but you didn't say anything, right? But you made a few faces. I was like, I wonder what she thinking. So I'm gonna play it on 1 halftime speed. Please make sure y'all support the channel. You see, we here, rain, sleet, or snow, sick or not. We trying to do our best, bro. You heard?
You got antibiotics though, right?
Yeah, I just took one. I gotta take another one soon. So. What did you think about this? Kurt said he ain't like it. He ain't like the back and forth. Why, Kurt?
I know that I've seen people do this to Cheeky, and I know that it can be like triggering to him. So like I was just kind of like I hope you don't go crazy. That was what I was thinking. But then I felt like he was handling it really well, so I kind of like started feeling
he did good.
Yeah, I felt impressed because I remember another girl did it to him and he was like, he OD'd on her. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't want that to be another moment.
He did, well, here's the thing though. He did good, right? I could tell he did, his energy increased a bit. But was she wrong though? That's the part that this shit popped in my head. Was she emphatically incorrect? So I 100% understand, right? That it was like backhanded, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
It
know,
was a sneak diss, definitely.
yeah. Well, I don't even know if it was sneaky. It was a dit. Like, nigga, what you even talking for, right? That's offensive to say to someone, you know. But I know that there's kids. Well, this is interesting though. So there's kids that came to the feeder program, right? Flowers High School got 4 or 5,000 kids, right? And the kids come from a bunch of different programs, right? Sherelle, different little league programs. If I heard a particular name, like if they came from like Watkins, I'm like, all that shit they taught y'all, throw that bullshit right out your head. And then there's other programs, I'm like, okay, you know a little something. And I was almost rather them just come to me before learning from anybody. Because that experience wasn't good, you see? So it's an interesting concept. Hold on. Yeah, nigga, Rainbow, you get them after 7 days. You can't get it right away. But if you can't kick that shit.
The nasal spray antibiotic?
Yeah, they gave me the nah,
That
it
shit
is a
works
pill.
magic, I'm telling you.
Yeah. So what I do, I always chew my pills though. Because that's how you get it in your system quicker. Feel me?
No, you get liquid gels.
Nah, I be chewing. They gave me, it was like a big, I chew Advil, everything.
That's
I chew.
nasty.
It's nasty,
You
but
want
it's
a quick release form, just get the quick release gel.
oh, I don't know. I just get it and chew it.
Don't chew the gel.
No, I don't chew any pill. It's faster that way. Everybody know that. Try it.
You knew the perk was fake and you still ate it. You a gremlin.
I'm just saying, bro. You just do them shit.
Wow. No, I would say I can relate to it because once you leave truck driving school, you get put with a trainer, and your trainer gonna always let you know they taught you how to pass the test. That's it. They didn't teach you how to be no trucker. It's a whole different ball game now.
So let's look at this dynamic, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell them. Well, first let's ask the audience. Salute the 165 people in the building. What y'all think? If you haven't done it, how much do we value your opinion? If you haven't done it, how much do we value that opinion? Like, Sherelle had 2 boyfriends her whole life.
3.
3. How much does she fucking know? As an example. Or if you have all this experience, but it wasn't right and exact and intentional, how much can you apply? I'm like playing double dutch.
Yeah. I like that though. I like that shit. Both sides. Get that work.
Because we try to understand. Now, I think, really, that 3 boyfriends, 3 relationships, hush. That's what I think.
I know that's what you think.
But
you up here talking to me. Okay? Ain't nowhere in the world you rather be, okay? But probably somewhere with some little muffins with the sparkles in them.
I'd rather be asleep. I ain't gonna hold. But so let's take a look at this, man. Let's take a look at this. And I'm gonna drop the link after we watch this. I want Sherelle to give her 2 cents. I'm gonna drop the link. This shit keep my ain't gonna lie.
You gotta have the antibiotics on deck because you have toddler germs. So you know those kids, they put anything in their mouth. They do a lot. Toddlers will keep you sick. That's why I had to get my antibiotics because my little nephew is a toddler. He come back with them germs. He always got a snotty nose.
Yeah, but they be good though. Just nose snotty. But like Chug, because Chug nose is snotty, but he's chilling. He talking about my eye. You know what I'm saying? A lot with the 10 ounces. Some of these women and dudes have never been in a relationship, real talk. So Sherelle still can give some input respectfully. Okay, so you saying there's levels.
Thank you, Ally. Clock it. I don't.
So Wait, so Li, see, that's Li always show support too, right? Even if he comedy always, but yo, Rel, so he's saying if they ain't been in a relationship, then you can advise them. So it's levels to it.
No, that's not what he said. I think his name is L2, but you call him Li.
Oh, I've been saying Li for a year.
I think that's numeral numbers. I think that's I too.
He never said no. I've been saying Li for a year, so
everybody's name wrong. You.
But yeah, I do. But what does it depend on though? So when we look at sports, when we look at boxing, when we look at court, like niggas talking about court, like niggas talking about, yo, if they today, one of my men's like, yo, they might sentence me today. I said, yo, if they sentence you and they don't give you time to leave, you need to go in there looking like the Marshmallow Man, bro. You're like, what you mean? You better put 5 pairs of drawers on, 5 pairs of socks on, 5 t-shirts, wear your all black shoes or all white shoes, and get you a gray Walmart sweatsuit. Why? Cause nigga, if they sentence you, they gonna take you. You want to be prepared. Don't go in there with no, because you're not gonna be able to keep other clothes. You could keep that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, you was right. Kurt with the $10. What up, Kurt says experience works best in a controlled environment. If you can fail in a controlled environment, it's good. But if the experience scares you beyond repair, is it good? No. So I think
scars. Like when you get cut and you got scars on your nose.
Oh, yeah. So no, that's interesting. I think that Kurt, what you're saying is facts. However, the overwhelming majority of these environments, I would say 99% of the environments are controlled, right? In the things in which we are conversing about. You know, even on the football field, we practice perfectly, but in the game, you got opposition. You know, I think you should learn what not to do again after you've applied a concept.
Yeah.
Aaron with the 2000. So everybody has to shut up and dribble in some cases. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, they got the saying, coaches don't play.
Uh-huh.
So the people that be coming up with the analytics in the games and stuff like that, the numbers to try to improve it, they don't play.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So if you're studying the game, you still can make observations, right? So let's say it's a science experiment. We're going to put the lab rats in it. The people that's always in the game, they just lab rats. They don't really know what's going on because they're never looking on the outside to try to actually see what's really going on. But if you're from the outside and you're looking at other relationships and the different dynamics, and you're watching the rats, oh, why are you going to always go to that cheese? Okay, if you take the cheese and put it over here, you're going to go to the peanut butter. Okay, but if you move this, you see what I'm saying? You paying attention like that, how can you not have say so?
Well, but the people ain't lab rats though, right? And people are actually so when the people are saying they're outside of the game looking in, no, they're learning concepts from people that were in the game in the first place, right? They didn't take a concept, break it down, and then come up with a construct. That's not what happens. They're not controlling variables. They just listening to other people tell them, or they reading it somewhere. See, a person who puts together the experiment controls all the variables and set experience. They have an understanding with each one. See, that's the reason why that analogy kind of falls flat a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I catch your drift though. So and see, here's the thing. Analysts, you're right. You take an analyst, right? They'll say it makes no sense to keep punting on 4th down. And here's why. So yeah, the coaches for a long time didn't take time to step back and say, well, if I go for it, I got 50% chance of making it. Why punt it from here and then here's the turnover, you know? So I 100% agree that I understand that thoroughly. So that's fair. But those analysts stay in a place, Sherelle. They say, coaches, here's what we found based on what you guys, what we assessed or what you asked us to assess. Here's our findings, you apply them. The analyst ain't telling the coach he's stupid for not applying them.
Right. But this is the thing. Okay, we're gonna take the coach away because we're not talking about the coach.
Okay.
But we're gonna say you're a sucky ass player, and the analyst is a good analyst, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a good analyst, but you feel like you're not playing. All you do is analyze, and you're playing and you suck, and you're losing consistently. You see what I'm saying? Like you're just bumping your head, losing. So we gotta put you with the special office of coordinator so we can try to get you together because you suck. We're not saying that the office coordinator or the analyst is a better quarterback than you, but we're just saying you're not a good quarterback. And because you play against other quarterbacks, ain't no other quarterbacks coming over here to teach you how to be better.
Yeah. No, 100%. I understand that. I guess in our conversations it's difficult, but I catch your drift. Just because the analysts, they want to play though, or they should be. They should be playing though. So now I wonder why the analysts acting like I suck when the analysts know good and goddamn well they want to play, should be playing, but scared to play.
Because the analysts are playing still. They're just making more informed observation.
I don't know, bro.
So let's say, because like if you ever seen like them Squid Games,
yeah,
you always see the nigga want to go last because they got the game with the boxes, and you got to hop from box to box, hoping the box is not hollow. Because if you fall, right. So everybody, that's all they're doing. We're trying to watch. You gonna fall right there? Don't do that. Don't do that.
And you know what
watching
it is?
other people fuck up because wise people learn from other people's mistakes.
But see, the analysts got the same results, right? They just go last because I think they scared.
I'm just scared. Go to church.
You scared get a dog, right?
Wow. If you scared, you go to church. That's what scared people go. Church.
No, I thought they got dogs or some shit like that. I don't know, man.
You been seeing that TikTok thing go viral where the owner feed the dog. She put food in front of the dog and then let somebody break in her house and start attacking her. The dog will eat. Her dog keeps eating the food instead of saving her.
What kind of dog is it?
I don't even know. I don't know dogs like that. You the people breeder. Shit.
It's a big dog?
One of the dogs was big. One of the dogs was little.
All right. So we made some analysis. Let's look at this issue. I think it's better laid.
Well, see, now we got to go into the like how we doing society thing, because if we believe in men being the leaders and patriarchy and all of that, that's on y'all. I'm a house husband, so I don't subscribe to that shit. That's on y'all. The ones that's like the super macho men. Oh, men are the leaders. It's your fault.
Now, did Cheeky start it? He being facetious.
He being facetious.
Huh?
How you being facetious?
That's y'all niggas. Y'all macho ass niggas. I'm a house husband.
He's just being honest.
But what I'm saying, that he could open up talking his shit though, is what I'm asking.
But he was saying macho niggas. He wasn't saying it to Tay.
Okay. So he talking his shit, but he ain't talking to her.
He ain't talking to the women at all.
Now, if you take from my ideology, which is, hey, we equal here, it's your fault and it's my fault. But if you are the leader and you the one who's supposed to be keeping all this together because you're a strong man and you raising.
With that voice he made.
That's a strong man voice.
In 60s and she better get right on your program, then it's your fault, nigga. It's all on you.
Oh, now we niggas now.
Yeah, because the leader takes accountability, dog.
He was talking that shit.
But if you, for my
no
cousin, I'm gonna say, bro, she autonomous. She got her own decision to make. You got your own decision to make. Who's fighting the train?
Me. My bad. So I got a train by my house.
Oh, okay.
You want to eliminate the issues. Which one would you eliminate first?
It would depend on ideology. So I would say the men would be the thing to stop it, right? Because if I have to think about how this plays out, there was a time where women weren't so sexually.
You can't out.
Yeah.
How do you put it? Sexually open. Like, right. There was some level of restraint, regimen given by men that said you cannot and will not do this. And it's the same men that also said, well, we kind of want to change that. So it's like I have to put it on one or the other. Is I have to be men because due to patriarchy and all of that, y'all kind of been in lead. We kind of been in lead with that. We could have maintained that, but we chose not to for whatever reason. So unless we want to go back to like
so look at Tay, right? Tay already half listening, right? Because all she's seeing in her head is this nigga that got no cheeks, that don't operate around no women, giving his opinion about what men should or should not do or what men did, right? Look at how shake her head. Hold on,
because due to patriarchy and all of that, y'all kind of been in lead. We kind of been in lead with that. We could have maintained that, but we chose not to for whatever reason. So unless we want to go back to like y'all women being chaste and men enforcing that, like legit enforcing it, and if you do have sex with somebody's daughter, you got to marry her, a shotgun wedding. If we want to go back to that, men holding men accountable in that way, we can. But I don't think nobody want to do that. I don't think men want to do that. Back to that, men holding men accountable in that way, we can. But I don't think nobody. A shotgun wedding. If we want to go back to that, men holding men accountable in that way, we can. But I don't think nobody want to do that. I don't think men want to do it. I don't think women want to do it. I think everybody want to be whores. So maybe I got it all wrong. Everyone wants to be a whore or a whoremonger, and it is what it is. And now we still got hoes and niggas. That's what it is. Like, because think about it. How many of y'all niggas really want to have sex with somebody? Meet their brother and their daddy with a shotgun in his hand and say, after having sex, or you got a pregnant, whatever the case, you got to.
Yo, put a one in the chat if y'all think Tay already over it.
Marry her. This is not.
Yo, Harrison with the 5 says, salute. Is that cheeky in Nazareth?
I kind of marry girls after they smash on a whim. I'm not trying to do that. Like, she look pretty. She wearing a nice, tight little black dress. She at the club trying to fuck and move on. And guess what she's trying to do? The same thing. So it just kind of works out. Now we the world full of hoes. So damn, it's just kind of suck for niggas like that's not trying to be that. And then the niggas that's not trying to be that, they like 35 now. So it's too late. You already made too many hoes. And the niggas that's too young and not on that time, it's like, bruh, I'm trying to find a wife. And then you looking at the nigga next to you and he 35. Yeah, me too, man.
That hair wrap too tight.
What was you doing at 25? Man, I was fucking.
That do be too tight on the head, nigga.
First of all, you're not a whore. We all know that. So I just don't understand what you even talking about. Because we talking about dick discipline and stuff, right?
So why you smirking right here?
Like, she don't want to go there with this nigga. He gonna go there with her.
Look at his face.
He like, who
And Cheeky, have you practiced it?
He like, when he looked to the side, it was him looking in behind him. Like, they got a nigga. What other nigga? Who? Play.
Who?
Because we talking about dick discipline and stuff, right? And Cheeky, have you practiced dick discipline? I mean,
absolutely, but we just had a discussion. I'm one of the few.
Right, but you talking about whores, but you can't relate.
What you mean I can't relate? Like I can't see them or talk to women that have had multiple sexual partners?
No, we're talking about you not being a whore. So what are you talking about? What experience do you have to?
Wait, so let me ask you this: you have to have sex in order to identify a whore if she identifies herself as a whore too?
I mean, well, whoring requires sex.
Huh?
I was just wondering, like, what was the point of view from you?
Does a lawyer have to break the law in order to defend the criminal that he's defending?
Well, that's law, and that's a lawyer. It's a process, right?
But he has no experience breaking any law. So how in the world could he know how to defend a lawyer?
So she's a whore on you gaining access 1-to-1 because the lawyer is in defense of the criminal 1-to-1. So it's tangible. She's saying, how you identify all these whores if you're not even having sex? Sex makes some whores with a plethora of men, or how easily men get access to them. How can you comment on it if you ain't never even been outside like that? Is her point. What you think?
Because what he's saying is he's outside having the conversations with the people who are participating in it. He's just withholding from participating in the acts, but he's having the conversations and he's around the people that's participating in it. He's just the disciplined one, but obviously he's observing and being an analyst.
So
he just said that he was like, would it stop me from talking to women? I like, he could smash them. He just choosing
That's
not
the
to.
thing. Now, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting. You've seen the effects of crack on people, on places. Niggas already said we can't even identify what whores look like. We don't even know.
We know what hoes look like.
Hold on. You heard the conversation, all right? When James asked, what's the difference? What do whores look like? How do they rear their head? You was making sure to put the battery in his back and saying these niggas can't give you an answer, huh? So these analogies don't work because it's evident, right? It's easily seen. But we are saying the good women standing too close to the hole, so we don't know the difference. So it's almost like you have to actually do this shit to even qualify or identify. See, Tay just don't. She just not articulate.
Do you have to have sex with the hoe to figure out she's a hoe, or do you just have to? So what Cheeky is saying is that you could just have a conversation with her.
What else make her a hoe?
You can. I'm saying he's saying you can have a conversation with them and they'll be honest about if they're a hoe or not.
Come on, what's that? Don't. But you know that don't reconcile with the women lying about their body count.
But that's what I'm saying. That's when y'all start saying y'all could pick it up. What you be saying? When you take her to the club, she know every nigga in there. You know what I'm saying? It's little telltales that y'all figure out. Y'all start picking up from the stories.
From smashing them. That's how you pick it up.
So every girl that you smash is automatically a hoe. You make her a hoe.
No, well, yeah, obviously, right? Whoremongers,
But what if you're her
whoremaker.
first body? She a hoe?
No, but I'm saying you would make her. Men would make her a hoe because men are whoremongers.
That's what I'm saying. So she could have not been a hoe just because
she's inclined. Now she may have an inclination, right, to be easy to access, right? So if her natural disposition is to be not value her body in that way and be easy to access, then she has the natural proclivity to be a
But
hoe.
what if you're just special?
Well, if and I'm telling you, so look, right? There was this girl, right? She wanted to sleep with me, right? But I'm like, nah. Cause she was solid. You feel me? Like we would do like work together and shit like that. But she was solid, you know? So I'm like, nah,
I respect that.
Because I knew that that's not her life.
No, she was gonna want a relationship and all that shit.
There was other chick, we doing homework. I ain't even bring a pencil with me.
Wow.
Right?
I was working on computers.
Like, nah, it was like, you know, it just interesting, you know. But here's the thing. I'm conversing with you about it, right? And we'll get to a determination. A lot of people already made a determination. That's where they feel themselves. You know? So, all right, let's listen.
Defend is criminal.
Well, he learns the laws.
Okay, and you can learn a lot about people when they open their mouth and say, I slept with this many amount of men with no commitment, no understanding, not knowing who he is. I opened my legs repeatedly just to get dick over and over and over.
But they not doing that though.
But
Niggas
he's
know
saying
that.
they do. He's saying they do. The
Okay,
ones he
now
meet and they doing that.
Here's where the experience comes in, right? Because when you talk about interactions, right? You talk about age. So I'm 10 years older than him, right? So even by proxy of that, I have way more interactions.
Of course, he was a whoremonger.
So that's the thing, right? So if I say no, they not saying that, who were you going to take for it?
His.
Let me ask you a question again, and I want you to be honest this time.
He make women comfortable enough because since he's not trying to fuck them, they be just running their mouth.
No. Comfort is one thing that I've been touted to be good at just here on YouTube alone, right? The way you had a conversation. So now let me ask you again. the experience, the lifestyle, the modus operandi, our interactions. Let me ask you. Cheek saying they tell they body count and open up. I'm saying they don't. Who were you gonna take?
Cheeky.
Come on, Sherelle. We trying to help people, nigga.
Okay, then you help people. I believe both of y'all. The
No,
girl
I'm not
saying
saying.
telling you what I
It's
don't
not
believe he's lying
about. It's not about.
I don't think that he's lying about women opening up to him about that.
No, I'm not saying he's. Y'all do a terrible job at this, and this is what happens every time a conversation start going sideways. Y'all start you specifically gonna make it anecdotal. Oh, I ain't them girls, but we talking about girls. So here's what I'm asking you. You have a person who has a plethora of experience in 10 years, right? On the person. They're saying two different things. You don't know what's true. Who would you be more? Who would you be more?
And we get to say that Cheeky's is anecdotal.
Well, no, it's both anecdotal, right? But go ahead.
What's happening on the norm is more of you because you have more experience.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Your anecdotal would be more a reflection of what's normally happening.
Yeah, because it's just the being in the environments, the bulk, right? Because you don't know what's true, but you're saying if this person has 10 experiences, this person has 100, they're saying two different things. I think people would be more inclined. But now, is what he's saying untrue? No. But the probability for the 100 to be true makes more sense.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah, because the women.
I thought you were saying what he was saying is just a lie.
No, it's not a lie because I've experienced that far less though than I experienced them not being 100% honest about their past experience. And people know why, because people use it against you, right? You think that you've changed or moved on from that particular type of lifestyle and things of that nature, or you're just lying because you know what type of connotation, So there's several reasons why people aren't 100% honest about what they've done or did. So, excuse me. All right, let's keep going.
I don't have to experience that to go, you a whore. Sorry.
No, what I'm saying is it happens on both ends too. But also,
and guess what we call them? A whoremonger. We've already identified two different groups: a whore and a whoremonger. One's for men, one's for women. What's the issue?
There's no issue.
Here's the thing, right? These two don't know. This is not true, right? Because on the way to finding your wife, you outside interacting with women, right? And when you come to the majority of women, they get slotted based on the conversation, based on how they move, based on what they posted, etc. And then she'll get slotted as being, okay, this person's use is only good for X. But the overwhelming majority of relationships come from people trying to get physical access to each other. And then people
That's what I'm saying.
find.
So if you find out a girl is a whore,
I'm not talking. Hold on, let me finish this. So then what you'll find is people get in relationships from trying to get physical access. And then how that person has conducted themselves previously matters. Right?
Okay, but would that make you not want to smash them?
No.
So that's what she's saying. She's saying like once Chicky found out you're a hoe and that's the type of time you're on, he's not gonna just smash you just to be smashing you.
That's not what she's saying.
Move you around.
That's not what was said though, bro. They said he cares if they're a hoe or not. You don't. Yes, we care. He just not gonna have sex with them. I'll have sex with them, but I'm not gonna wife them. You see? That's how you know who cares, because what's important to a woman, right? Who controls access to the relationship, from the basic talking points.
The man's.
Yeah. So that's the breakdown. But go ahead. What you saying?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You see I burned myself?
Yeah, I see. That blow dryer that I got, that shit like cut down their hair done in like, like by like an hour.
That's good. That's great because they all got natural hair, man.
Yeah, that shit worked wonders.
Even Chug, y'all ever straighten his?
No, hell no. You look crazy though. All right, let's listen.
We're just saying two different things. It's okay.
Oh, so where's this question about experience coming from? What does that matter?
Because I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about. Like, you don't. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's no.
Where are you lost?
Experience. There's no. Oh yeah, I understand what y'all are talking about because.
So Sean talking about fight back cheeky.
So that means literally means that the only people who can have conversations about relationships are whores and whoremongers.
No,
What about the man that got married as a virgin and he married a virgin and they got a long marriage? Can they speak on it? Because they lack experience outside of each other.
He's talking about relationship and the success in that relationship for 20 years. Yes, you can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
But if you
Rel, stay right there. But that nigga ain't gonna be out here talking about I know what hoes look like. You see?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
so she was having an issue with him saying he can identify hoes.
yeah, that's what she kind of pinpointed.
But it wasn't the conversation wasn't really about him identifying hoes. He was saying that any man who says that he's the leader, because in situations we understand that if something happens, the leader of the governor, the president, they have to take the fall for whatever happened, right? So if you're the leader of the household, whatever happens, because you're the leader, we're gonna look at, oh, y'all about to lose your house, that's on him. Y'all lights off, that's on him. That's what he's saying. So if you're the leader of the relationship, you're obviously gonna have to take the accountability, the bulk of it, the bulk of the responsibility, because you're the leader. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, that's not what she's addressing.
No, that's literally what he was saying, though.
No, I know that. I know that. I'm saying what Tay pinpointed on, because Rel, this is why we pointed it out. We pointed out the fact that she stopped listening. You see that? So in the context of what they talking about, she don't give a damn, because she like when she hear whore and whoremonger, she like Cheeky should be excluded because he don't got no experience in none of that shit. Tay, that's what Tay is pinpointing on. She ain't even talking about that.
But that's his observation. His observation is
no. I'm just saying we didn't. I'm just saying that she compartmentalized. You see what I'm saying? I understand his opening premise, you know, but what she's saying is like, huh? You know, it's just like, yeah, you saying she ignored the opening. I got you 100%. But it just interesting as hell to me. Like Kurt said, he's the guy that's been married, wasn't outside. Are you gonna go to Kurt to say, hey man, how can I figure out who be hoeing?
I be knowing who be hoeing.
No.
Girls be way looser talking to us.
Well, see,
because they assume you a hoe. They just assume all women do the same shit, and they just be running their mouth.
But perfect though, right? They open up to you because you also a girl. They lie to us because they know the judgment. Kurt been inside for the last 30 years. He gonna be there ever to identify?
Probably not more than the person that's outside. No.
Yeah,
y'all
like
know what the hoes. Y'all getting up and personal with the hoes because y'all smashing them, right? So yeah, y'all definitely the whoremongers know whores better than anybody. But that's not what Cheeky was saying.
No, okay. I know, but see that we both know that. Okay. But what we're looking at really is what Tay focused in on. Where she just discounted it, right? Because of the alleged lack of experience.
Yeah, but your lack of experience, the issue she's saying, when he said whoremonger or whore, he's just making an observation that that's what the majority of us are doing. We're not moving traditionally now. We're not going meet the parents. We're not, after we have sex with this girl, we want to marry her. So we're going to have to deal with the fact that they want to be hoes and y'all want to be whoremongers, and that's the world we live in. That was the observation he made, and she felt like you're unqualified to make that type of observation because you're not a whore. But I don't have to ever be a hoe to know that they got hoes.
Condense it. Okay, I accept that. Except for this, though. When he started replying to her, what did he start saying? I talk to these girls and they open up to me. You see? So instantly when he made it about his tangible experiences, how he learned it, that's when she started to pinpoint. So the overarching macro concept that you just laid out, I understand that. But then it got pinpointed to when I talk to these girls, they tell me they business.
Yeah. Okay, that can be it too, right? But you can also take the observation of just looking in the world. If we look in the earth and we're on Instagram, we have social media, Twitter, Instagram. If we're looking in the earth and we're looking at the TV, the baddies, the all of this, what do we see? Hoes, hoe culture, slut walks. We see the culture of hoes all over us. Every time we're on our timelines, all our algorithms are doing it. You can't avoid
That's
bitches
most
out here
women?
being hoes.
That most women.
That's what we see in the
I know. You saw. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking that
Hell
most women.
yeah. The majority of what we see when we're on social media is
Okay.
hoes.
So most women
That's
are
the
hoes.
representation
Okay.
of women today.
Okay.
That
Okay.
we're hoes.
So most women are hoes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So he's okay. All right.
So it's easy to see. Like
Okay.
if you're looking at debauchery, you don't have to participate in debauchery to be like, oh, this is some debaucherous ass shit.
Okay. All right. So you saying that they all hoes. So his how he laying it out, you don't even need no experience. All you need is the internet.
All you need is 2 eyes and 2 ears, and you can see and hear all the whole shit. That's how much whole shit. He's saying the whole shit is so much whole shit. Nigga, Stevie Wonder could see the whole shit.
So y'all heard it.
Stevie Wonder could see the whole shit.
Okay, go ahead, talk your shit. Talk your shit,
on. That's what Chicky is saying, and he is qualified for that because all he needs is 2
He got
eyes.
the internet. He got the internet, right?
All he needs is 2 eyes, and he can
Okay.
see. Oh yeah, this some whole shit. When I meet these women, they don't have no decorum. They're gonna give me easy access to their body. They giving other niggas easy access to the body. And from what I'm hearing from other niggas, the whoremongers, any man I go to and have conversations with, they're getting the same feedback as me. They timelines looking like mine. The ass is out. The ass is on the counter. The OnlyFans is popping. These bitches is hoes. Hoes. So what are you talking about?
No, 100%. 100%.
So how are you not qualified to know that they're hoes?
No, I'm just saying, yo, that's cool. Like
You
I
don't gotta
just
fuck hoes to know that hoes exist.
okay, I catch your drift.
Cause the whole shit is everywhere. They putting it out. Like hoes ain't got no shame no more, bro. I don't know why y'all trying to make it seem like bitches is secretive about being hoes. No, bitches is loud and proud of I'm a hoe. Like they're loud and proud. They might ask you for some money. They take it all the way to prostitution. They got 304 TikTok.
Hey,
These
you,
bitches will
hey,
tell you
listen, we
how much money they made
okay,
last night on the blade. What are you talking about?
okay, yo, this
Women is hoes. 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 So if women is hoes,
God damn.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Anybody can see it.
Exactly, Pino. I ain't even see CJ.
What Bino said?
Nah, man, it's over with. Okay. I mean, do we want to watch the rest or we drop the link?
Drop the link.
And
you
like
can watch. Finish watching the rest.
we can watch it and drop the link, right?
Beautiful.
You haven't had the opportunity to practice it. That's the way everybody else is talking about them being whoremongers because they haven't been practicing. Short of, I think, Strata or whoever that Sean, somebody hasn't been practicing the discipline.
I love an op on op fight. Come on, fight back, Chief.
I'm not fighting.
It's not a fight. It doesn't make any sense. Like it's like asking people who haven't done a certain thing, how can you make a comment about something that you haven't done, as if you don't have eyes or any idea or logic or any experience from their own people's mouths to explain this is my experience and this is what I've done and how I've come about doing this thing.
Again, so okay, let's break down something more masculine. So if I learn how to build a bridge, right, and then you don't know how to build the bridge, I can't talk to you about building the bridge.
Yes, you can. You can teach me. You can tell me here are the things you need to do to build a bridge.
I haven't done myself, and I can't expect that of you either because I haven't done that myself.
So how do you expect anybody to learn anything?
Look at Sean.
Are you telling me professors in college? Wait, hold on, wait. Let me finish. Are you telling me that all the students that are in college currently who have no experience doing any other field of study that they're in aren't legitimate because they haven't done it themselves? But somebody's teaching them how to do certain things, they're teaching them certain concepts, and they wow. And this is why I stay off the internet, because
baby, you know you gotta be here on Tuesday.
Nah, bro, because it's so crazy. Minding my business. Hey, you should probably watch the show. Oh, what are they talking about?
Who told you that?
You.
Who told you to watch the show?
It don't matter.
Yo.
Jesus Christ, bro.
The good thing is we can only have this with people we actually love. Like if it was another motherfucker we don't fuck with, we would just skip on by it, honestly. But yo, so let's keep watching. Look.
Can apply that concept to build something new or make some sense of the thing that they're learning. What are you saying?
No, I'm not saying that because I went to college, sir. But I'm also saying I learned more after I graduated, after I got more experience in the world living life that I know about.
And great.
I can say that too.
Great. So
I get the point,
did you get hired? Did you get hired due to your experience, or did you get hired due to your understanding the concept of something?
I think they did consider my experience and my education.
What experience did you have in college without a job?
I had a job. That's what I'm like. You're not talking to a regular person, sir. Okay, so let's start there.
The point is,
internship. You're trying to make a point that's moot. The topic at hand. What I'm saying is, what do you have to contribute to it? What do you mean? What you're saying is like, why are you saying?
What I have to contribute to it is my experience through conversation and learning about people.
Sir, because the conversation is different than the action. Yeah. If I tell you one thing until I'm blue in the face, it doesn't matter until you see me do it and you see the product manifest.
That's not true. Because if that was the
case, I'm not, because it's not that serious. It's fine.
Yeah. So if it's not that serious, why try to discredit what someone is saying?
I'm just wondering why you're saying it. That's why
I'm saying it because it's evident. There's evidence to follow what I'm saying.
But you don't have the evidence.
Do you need to be a part of a study to say that the study is legitimate? I'm laughing too. That's crazy.
You're right. You don't. No, you don't. To answer your question, no.
That's the point. You don't need.
You can read about it and experience it that way.
And guess what? And that is enough for us to use science, math, and everything else to go, this is legitimate.
Okay. But I think the person experiencing the study would have more to talk about and have more to
they may have more, but they wouldn't exclude people. They wouldn't exclude people. They wouldn't exclude and discount people who weren't part of that study. All they would say is, I have a different experience because I was a part of the study. That's all they would say.
I agree with that. I'm just saying that the people who participated, their input is more valuable to the study.
That's not true. They're just guinea pigs. People who have more value or more importance are the scientists that conduct the experiment, not the person that's in it. You're just a guinea pig. Learn to be a pawn and stay in a pawn's place and let the kings and chess masters move the chessboards around. Not you per se. I'm just saying it's the idea. Just because you're part of something doesn't mean that you're better than because you've experienced a thing. The person that organized it and put it all together is actually the mastermind, and they're the most important people. They're the people that matter, not you.
Well, now you're projecting because I never said anything about anybody being better.
Okay, I'm not saying.
No, that's not
more important. I'm sorry. You said more important, not better. You said more important. My apologies. Not better, but more important. I thought that was synonymous, but it's not.
Valuable.
Valuable, not better, but more valuable or more important, which is close to better. But that's just
no, because it's all important. You're not speaking for me. It's all important, but what I'm saying was the more valuable part was the people who.
I got you. You're right. I should not have misconstrued your words. You're right on that, Tay. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Apologies. Do you accept it?
Yo, when I was editing it, I laughed at that for 10 minutes straight.
He let her slide with that.
Bro, because I was anyway. I don't understand.
Better, more valuable.
What is the point? What is the point of today's show? So I can
experience is the best teacher. Now,
okay.
Relly done came out, agreed with CJ. The overwhelming majority.
No, wait. Make sure y'all say I said women on the internet are the majority.
No,
of women
I
on the internet
asked you. Are the majority?
No, I said on here, and I said on here. Don't make me go.
Even if that is the case, the questions that were challenged, we didn't say CJ was wrong. We asked, how do you know? We were challenging the idea. We didn't say he was wrong. We never said that's not true. We asked, how do you know? And if you can't articulate that, which he wasn't able to do, then it's not his fault.
It's
not his fault.
Wait a minute.
Although I do believe that the majority of women are hoes, but they're definitely on the internet. Like you wouldn't know. What I'm saying is you're not gonna know what they're doing if they're not on here. The majority of them, but when the majority of them are acting like hoes.
All right, let's ask a clarifying question. Are the majority of women on the internet?
No, I don't think so. The majority of people are not on the internet.
I would say yeah. I think majority of
The
women on
majority of people are internet.
social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I can't think of a woman that
Well, they
doesn't
hoes.
have.
I think that if you have a body count, I think if your body count hits double digits, you're a hoe.
Sherelle,
So that's
the
majority of women
women
are hoes.
in the
That's what I'm
United
saying.
States are
So
the
that's what I'm saying.
majority of
They're
women
hoes.
hoes? Because
Yeah,
you
I think the majority
you
of their body counts is over 10. Yes,
because you okay. So the majority of women on or off the internet are hoes.
all of them.
I know. I'm asking because the majority of women on or off the internet are hoes.
Yeah,
And so that's a safe assumption everybody should make.
pretty much.
So based on that take, experience is inconsequential because the majority of y'all are hoes anyway.
Which was my point, right? To
That's
the
what the point
entire
is making.
No,
my
man.
point.
Hold on, Cheek. I'm asking you, Sherelle.
What?
Majority of women on or off the internet are hoes.
Yeah,
We should assume that the women we come across are hoes.
most likely, yeah. Probably a hoe. I said that before. And then CJ was like something, and you stopped. You made the famous clip of the woman you love is a hoe. You don't remember that? That was Sherelle talking point that you
I don't
pulled.
remember. I don't remember.
You don't remember that? You went you clipped
If you
made an
repeated
Instagram
it,
thing.
no, James clipped it. So
What? James
James clipped it. Yeah.
I'm saying, but you posted it after he clipped it. Shout
Yeah,
out to
but
James.
that's all I'm saying. There's no content, right? It just literally says that after I'm done listening to somebody, which could have been you. So yeah, that's cool. I just don't remember.
That
Like,
you don't remember me. I'm not memorable.
I talk to you
You do a
every
show with me
day.
all the time.
I talk to you every day, nigga. You say a lot of shit I ignore. I just be saying,
When we're up here one-on-one, you're just ignoring me. That's not how dialogue works.
Shit. You take me
Let's
a
just say
day.
you drink too much and you got CTE and now your memory's fucked up.
Maybe 2 days to text you back, nigga. Go ahead, Cheek. What you think? My bad.
I don't understand the premise, right? Is Tay a whore and able to speak on whores? Like we'd have now we got to start doing some qualifying, right? Is Tay a whore and can she speak on whores because she was or is currently a whore? That's a question that one, I don't know if we all want to ask or answer honestly. One,
men answer it.
Okay, of course men answer it. They don't have any real social stigma for being a whore or a whoremonger, whatever you want to call it. But what I'm gonna say is, the question we need to ask her, because she's the one that presented the challenge, and I didn't want to do this for this very reason. Are you a whore? And if you're not a whore, how can you speak on whore things? Just because you have sex, just because you have sex doesn't make you a whore. I don't come from that belief. That's not what I said. That's not what
makes them. What makes them? Do you think that the majority of women are whores?
On my answer, yes, but on a general level, no. Most women are probably not whores. No.
Breaking that down.
All right. So if you got more than 5 bodies, that's a lot to me in my brain. That's just a lot. That's a lot. But to other men, they're gonna be like, nigga, that is like a dominant. Like if you find her, she a dominant in the rough, and to me, that's different. But generally speaking, I know that's not the case. I have a very stringent stance on it because of my own beliefs and ideology. Now, to y'all, if she got 40 bodies, would y'all call? I think we tried doing this before. Is 50 bodies too many?
Yeah.
So I don't think most women have 50 bodies. That's just my.
Also, 5 bodies is too many. We just accept it. You see.
Okay, but y'all wouldn't call her a whore if she had 5 bodies.
Oh well, if we gotta go on y'all thing, if you gotta have at least 30 bodies, I don't think.
No, it's saying that the assumption is because people lie. What it is, the assumption is we say, yo, if she 30 something, she got 30 bodies, niggas won't be taken aback by it. You see.
Okay, so listen, then that's why I have to give a different standard, because my standard, of course, I've had to change it a bit, right, and just accept the fact, hey, it is what it is. If my standard is 5 bodies, every woman, more 99.9% of women in my off of that standard is done. They're cooked. All right. But I'm not dumb enough, or let me not say dumb. I'm not
so unaware to understand that my standard is very high and I'm willing to accept or use y'all standard, which is 30 bodies or more or 20. I don't know. Whatever y'all standard is. I'm not naive enough to be like, oh yeah, only 5 women. On women. No. So we'll just use y'all standard. I don't think most women have 30 bodies on them. I just don't. I don't think most women walking around, if I pointed them out and be like, hey, you got 30 bodies, I highly doubt it. That's just me. Especially at my age, certain age, right? I just don't think most women are out here moving like that. Huh?
You 30.
I'm not 30. I'm not 30.
How old are you?
I'm 27. Okay. I'm 28. You're about to be 29. There
Just said 28. This nigga don't even. We gonna argue about your age and you
Hemp, you know what, bro. Today is just you want to be right there. I got you. Whatever y'all say, y'all right. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, nigga. I said 28. You said 27. Now it's 28, and you turned to 29.
You said I'm 30. Go ahead. You said I'm 30. But go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying under my breath, I say you 28. I just say you 30. I rounded up. You said 27.
Yeah, y'all both was off.
Okay, Hemp. So we both wrong. Can we agree to that now, nigga? Are we done? Now you on the windmill? You finished?
I'm just saying.
You finished? I know you like to fight. It's part of your whole waking up routine morning.
So what do you think? What body count do you think makes a woman a hoe? Hemp.
Say again. Sorry.
What body count do you think makes a woman a hoe? You about to go one. This nigga on my nerves.
Well, that's why I had to use a different terminology, right? I think the defiling is what happens, right? And I think that we need to pinpoint on that. If a man have no intentions for you, he sleep with you, you've been defiled, right? People will move the goalposts and make it make sense for the woman that they want to be with, whether they call her a hoe or not, right? The most important thing to understand is a man doesn't want any woman that has been defiled, but he'll accept it. And it's really
we're gonna go by just
hold on. It's really based on that woman at that given time, based on that point that man is in life. You know what I'm saying?
So that's majority of women have at least had sex with some man that did not have no intentions for them. It was just a fuck.
So they all defile, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So to bring this all back, right? Do you have to be somebody that's been defiled a multitude of times? I guess maybe 30 to well, not just once or twice. Let's give a number 20.
I say now. So let me just. So I say, I think I'm more along the lines with Sherelle, just because I've been living in this society my whole life, right? So we have a palette. Our palette is different. But I say once you get to let's say 20 is a number that jumps out to me, to be honest. Just something about that number. If I'm just thinking through my head, that number kind of jumps out to me. You know what I'm saying?
10 is a lot, to be honest. In a lifetime,
10 is a lot, really. And 20, I'm like, all right, my nigga,
that's way too much. Just like in one lifetime. And the thing about it is we keep saying 30 by 30, but we're not fucking at one.
No, we're not.
You gotta remember that 1 through 10 wasn't fucking. Hopefully 10 through 15, you wasn't.
But yo,
15
here's the fly shit though, right? Here's the fly shit. One train, she a hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the same.
No, I don't think
wait. No. It's the concept. No. It's not even that. It's the concept. You got defiled multiple times in one day. Bro, come on. It's one thing to do it 24 hours later, 48 hours later, 72. Yeah. You got defiled 5 times in one sitting. Oh my god.
Hey yo, because look at this, right? Because if and here's my process, right? Cheek, right, Sherelle? Will, what up? Mr. Williams, what up?
What up?
I think most men be like 10. Holy shit, that's low, right? Just men, like if we respond to 10, I think 20 is where a motherfucker be like, all right, now close your fucking legs. You see my process though. Like 10, most people be like, oh, that's good.
She's 35.
Yeah, right.
It's like, okay, over 20 years, you've only had 10. Over 20 years, sex. But damn, when you start having sex, when they start having sex.
The average age is 17.
Like high school, somewhere there.
17 is the average age.
Okay, so by the time you're 30, that's 12 years. How many partners should you have in 12 years? Not 30. That's fucking insane.
Yo, this is the math, Sherelle. They probably do 2 a year. They probably do 2 a year. Is sound like a pretty average. So 2 year times 2012.
But that's what I'm saying. So
24.
women don't never get a relationship that lasts past a year. Like you gonna like, why are you fucking two niggas every year?
Cheating rates is astronomical, and motherfuckers going to break all types of weird shit. And then the whole phase thing seemed to be touted during college.
Okay, so HAMP.
I was about to say, did she go to college or not?
Again, we're still not getting to the point of who's qualified. If you're not a whore, can you speak on whore things? Now, are we saying that every female specifically, right? Because we wanted to, this clip is based on a female challenging me, not a male. So now I'm going to have to ask the question to every female that wants to comment on things that include or involve whores. Are you a whore? And can you speak on this as a whore?
If you're not a whore, you can't tell me to shut up because we both don't got no experience.
Right. So now I need that. Now we need that clarification and that to be verified online. I need to hear this from Tay for this to be over. I am a whore and I can speak on whore things. And if she's okay to do that, I'm fully okay with accepting not speaking on whore things in her presence. Right. I can speak on whatever the fuck I want to. But I won't do it when she's here. Like, so when whores come up, I'll be like, I'll let the whores take over. I swear to God, I'll let that shit happen. I'll just do that and just move on about my day.
Will you give that to the whoremongers too? Because the whoremongers be saying, like Reaper, he talking shit in the chat. He wants you to shut up too. So would you do it for the whoremongers?
No, because as a man, if it come down to it, we could just have a meetup and then we could say whatever we want to say. Right? Because nobody, at the end of the day, no one will
nerf fight.
No, and I'm not even speaking physically. The point is nobody controls what anybody wants to say, and nobody should be able to dictate that because how can you do it?
No,
whatever standard you come up for, I can make another one. It just doesn't make sense.
Here's the conversation though, right? Nobody has to be quiet. It's about credence to what that person is saying, the vessel in which it's coming from. Like, do I give it credence? So, like, for instance, I was looking at these cameras and shit, right? And I see all these motherfucking listings. First thing I do is what? Cheek, is this a good camera or not? Once he say it's good or not, I don't even research the shit no more. I just buy the shit. You see? Because and even though I try to dabble in it, I haven't focused on it. I don't have enough experience. So I'm like, hey, what you think? Yo, we get a new guy come to the gym, they kicking the bag and shit, all this dumb shit, right? We get in one half a sparring session, Sheik. 20 seconds, I know if he don't got no business being in there. 15 seconds. Honestly, the first two punch, I'm like, whatever gym you lied on, I'm calling that gym and telling you lied on.
So we're not disagreeing with the idea that someone having a firsthand experience, that their experience is valuable, right? I'm never going to disagree with that. That's not even what I said. That's not what I stated. My thing is, we can't keep trying to apply this concept of experience is the best teacher. It's only the best teacher for a certain type of people, right? If you are a hard-headed motherfucker, you need to bump your head. But what do we know about what we say about smart people and wise people? Smart people can learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from others. I don't need to go through certain things, and y'all shouldn't want me to go through certain things in order to figure something out. It doesn't make sense. For example, HAMP, if you have a son, if you tell your son, you know what, you just need to go out there and just do what you just experience is the best teacher, and you don't tell this person, hey, you shouldn't do this. If in an event that you do, here's how you deal with it. But you will still teach him, don't do this, and you would hope he'd listen and not have to learn from experience. Oh man, I bumped my head. Oh, I got a girl pregnant. Oh, I got AIDS. Oh, I got come on now. So, these girls are burning. Atlanta is, when we start looking at these again, STDs, y'all are playing, when y'all try to exclude me from a conversation because I'm not risking my life, in essence, to just say, oh, I'm doing it. And then you go, well, what experience do you? I don't need experience and whoring to go, this isn't good.
You're
right.
Yeah, if somebody advises you on a thing, take that advice, heed that advice. Okay. Should you be advising others?
Yes, I should. The reason why I should is because I can point to you. That's the thing.
Okay,
it's not like
OG told me XYZ.
And then I would say,
I'm telling you what OG told me.
And then if you don't want to listen to what OG is saying and his words, then fine, bump your head. That's your experience and that's your life. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. But if I go, I'm not going to do that because I see it. He got war rooms. He got a shit bag because he got shot or stabbed in the stomach. I'm not going to be like, man, it's time for me to be a gangster. No, look at him. He just told us what's happening and what's going on. Why would I want to repeat that? Am I the dummy for saying, okay, I'm going to do it still? Or am I the smart guy for going, you know what? I'm looking around. I probably shouldn't do that. Let me go find something else to do.
Okay, that's good. So does the person with the no experience is willing to listen to wisdom?
Yes.
Do they keep quiet in these conversations though?
No, they shouldn't keep quiet because those people
should be asking questions.
Yes, they should ask questions and they should challenge those people who are speaking with their own ideology. That's literally what I do. I don't say I done this. I said you said this. I'm using the words that you presented against an idea that you currently have. How do you make these work? It's not up to me to make that work. It's up to you. And if you can't make it work, don't get mad at me because I'm presenting information you gave to me. That doesn't make sense.
Last question I got, and then I'll get Mr. Williams and Done Willing. Okay, you got these two types of people, right?
Okay.
Concepts, learning, person done it through experience and knows the concepts. Who's the authority in the conversation?
That is unfortunately that's subjective because the person that has the experience, the question is, did nobody teach you? Did nobody tell you this? And they say, no, I didn't learn this, or I didn't do this for my own, or I just did this on my own. Then I'm not going to trust. Like, why would I trust you? Where's your credibility come from making this decision? And for the person that's listening and going, hey, I've learned this from other men, and these are their lifestyles, or this is their results, and they're all positive. So it's really a question of how are you going to approach this? If the person that has experience also has good results, they're valid, right? That makes sense. But if a person doesn't have experience, but they have great results too, how can you decipher which one is better?
Yeah, if the results are the same, then
if the results are, that's my point. So I don't have, for example, my dad was not a whore. He's already explained this. He's already said this. He's already gave way. That doesn't mean that he didn't have any sexual relations or whatever the case. But I'd be a fool to try to say I can't listen to my dad because he wasn't a whoremonger and his results, still look good.
Make sure you heard my question. They both understand the concept. The one has applied it. That has the experience.
Wait, no, you can't say they understand the concept and one has applied it. One of them didn't apply it, and one of them did because they had information on the concept.
Yeah,
you can't tell me the person who's ignorant of the thing and just figured it out because they bumped their head is better than the person who learned from somebody and goes, I didn't make those decisions. I didn't have to fall from the same thing.
They don't misunderstand the concept, right? They went out, they experienced it, they understand the concept, right?
So
these two types.
So if they went out and experienced it and are coming back with the same information as the person who didn't have the experience, whether bad, which when we say experience, and we're not typically saying good experiences, we're talking about bad, correct? Typically.
I don't think so. I think we just kind of talk about the experiences and then we say what we learn from said experience, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent.
So typically the way I hear these experiences being used, I'm hearing them in a negative way, or I'm hearing them in ways where I wish I didn't do that. Some level of regret or remorse for the action that was done. These men who speak on, I wish I didn't sleep with so many women because it caused so much emotional damage or whatever the case. They don't talk about, oh, sex is great. Sex is great. Sex is great. When they say they have the experience, they're also talking about the experience of or the experience of negativity with it as well.
Well, now the sex thing does fall because niggas will tell you how great sex is. You'll even have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Take off that condom if you want to.
Okay, so here we get. I'll go.
Can't nobody teach you that. Can't nobody show you that. Can't nobody express how good vagina is until you actually insert.
Okay, now listen to what I'm saying. They're not talking about that. They're talking about I should have kept. You listen to what you just did. You gave me a warning. You didn't say indulge. You said be careful. Here is caution. Take this. Why are we talking about an experience like that as if it's positive? And you're telling me, hey, don't do that because it'll be.
That's not. No, this is how you actually know how niggas actually say it, right?
Okay,
you
go
say,
ahead.
nigga, take that column off if you want to. That's how it's actually said.
Listen.
But that's black speak. That's colloquial. Like that's
no.
All right, now I told you.
Ham. There's the one-on-one equivalent. You want to fight him? All right, bro. It's the same tonality. It's the same implication.
Because what?
Because it's dangerous.
You ain't gonna be able to wrap your head around. It's gonna be different. It ain't gonna go how you think it's gonna go.
That don't sound like a good thing. That sounds like a big risk. Y'all may go, it's a great thing, but y'all are not talking about the greatness of how it feels. Y'all are talking about the risk of you being addicted. Y'all are talking like it's crack. Y'all talking like it's cocaine.
But it's a good. They're expressing the feel that you get.
They're expressing the feel and how bad you can want it, and that doesn't sound like a good thing. Y'all sound like addicts. I'm sorry. I'm never going to be like if a fentanyl user come up to me and be like, I hit this shit if you want to. I'm gonna be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave that one alone. Same thing.
The verbiage is there, but we understand the connotation of the eye now. Take that column off if you want to, nigga.
And my
go ahead and fuck with that nigga if you want to. We understand what's happening.
And what I'm saying is that understanding is not being used as a positive. It's being used as a concern or a red flag.
It's a positive.
It's a positive in the sense of it makes you feel good, just like crack or any drug would. But it's a negative because you become an addict.
Because the level of the enhancement goes up. It exponentially increases, bro.
And what happens as the byproduct? Do you ever want to put the condom back on?
Nah.
Okay. Now that we know
that's the bad thing.
That's the bad thing. Yes.
I agree.
The bad thing is the feeling of it is so good and addictive that you're willing to bypass concern and Right. Now you're at the point of saying, fuck condoms. I'm trying to get it raw. And now you hit somebody raw.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
Okay.
That's my point.
No, I get that. So it's almost like a disclaimer. Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. And you don't put disclaimers on things that are good and have no negative benefit, negative repercussions.
Risk.
Risk, right? You don't put disclaimers on things with no risk. I'm sorry, I don't see disclaimers on tomatoes and celery. I see it on baby cakes, cigarettes, and alcohol. My point. That's my point.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I agree
My
with you.
point.
I could see it. I agree with you. Yeah, it is a disclaimer. Yeah, because the byproduct of it, you're less safe going forward.
And you are willing to disregard so many things,
everything
to go
life.
Forward.
Yeah,
and that my point right there is this: I don't need to experience that to go. I shouldn't do this. I'm hearing and seeing, and I'm listening. I'm doing all the things that you're saying young people don't do when older people with more experience should do. And now you're telling me I can't be included into the conversation because I'm sitting here saying, hey, this is what they're saying. Why would I go do this if they're saying this? What sense does that make?
Yeah. No, I don't want to keep monopolizing. Let me get them in.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Mr. Williams, what's popping?
Wow.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Good evening. This is a good conversation.
Oh shit.
I think you should be able to speak on it, but I think when it gets overbearing, I think when you get overbearing and you don't have as much knowledge as someone, I think that's when conflict arises. I think if someone actually has the experience and the knowledge, then they might want to take a step back and actually pay attention because they could learn even more than what they know. So that's just my take on it as far as that goes with you and Chinky's back and forth.
Yeah. I like the fact that people can learn, Mr. Williams, but putting yourself in that fire, no pun intended. Like the things you learn, the nuances and the concept, right? the actuals of the concept once you apply it are things that they won't be able to teach you.
Exactly.
Right? Because the opposition, when you're applying a concept, gives you a different look at it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just
so
like
I know
have no kids, HAMP, that you don't have any experience with kids. Nothing that came from you, from a baby until they get older. Sometimes people can be overburdened with it's totally different. It's a totally different type of love when you create a life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who consider themselves to be experts don't have a clue. They just don't.
Yeah, concepts only go but so far, in my opinion. But like you said, the wise man can not put his hand on the stove after he see me burn myself. You know, curiosity though is one thing that, like they said, kills the cat. And I wonder how many people can stand being curious for how long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what kids be doing. Shit ain't that hot. Motherfuckers doing this and shit. You know what I'm saying? Then they touch the motherfucking stuff and your hand gets stuck. Nigga, that shit different, boy. And burn for a minute.
It's just like that concept. If you lock a kid in a candy store, what would they do?
He gonna eat.
Majority of them are gonna eat the candy.
That's a fact. What's up? What's popping?
What up? What's going on with y'all? So in the context of this conversation, right? I agree with Chikli. If we're talking about having sex, on the act of having sex, obviously he can't participate in that because, right? That's one thing. But if we're talking about just because I didn't watch that whole clip, but the experience of identifying a hoe or whores, anybody with eyes can do that. I mean, or who's been outside or who's just been around people who's listening to conversations. There are certain identifiers you can pick up on to see whether somebody's a hoe or not. Like, to use an example, I don't have to be in a gang to identify somebody that's in a gang or a gangbanger because I go outside, I see people, I know people who are in gangs, I know what to look for. So I 100% agree with him on that. But as far as like the experience thing goes, even if you were experiencing something, doesn't
wait, Will.
What?
You saying you can easily identify whores?
You can easily identify whores?
You.
More often than not, yeah.
How?
That's it. Go back to that question.
Well, okay.
How,
let me clarify.
Talk your shit.
Let me clarify. There are certain, because whores, there are low-key hoes, right? So you're right. I spoke too quick. But there are certain things that a woman or man can display that can identify them as a hoe. I mean, we can agree to that. Because you can be a discreet hoe.
Like what? Like what's the identifiers unless you fucking them?
Fuck you, him.
I want to know that though.
Wow. Hold on, Mr. Williams. Let Dub Will sit on that hot seat real quick. Yeah, all right.
Nah, I don't like sitting on hot seats. I'm good.
Yo, Dub, you got to, baby boy.
Okay.
What? Like, how do you? Sorry, I can't.
Yo, he dying.
My bad, dog. I'm just saying, like, what? It's hard, baby. Like, what you think? Excuse me.
How you like? I mean, you can go off of what their conversation. You can go off of how they move. I mean, and you just see it. I mean, sometimes it's just so especially in 2025, it's not like people are necessarily feel the need to be discreet or feel the need to hide who they are. If there are people out there who just proud hoes, they're just out there with it. Now, like I said before, are there women and men that are discreet with their shit, low key with their shit? Yeah, but that's becoming less and less of a thing. People are just they're shameless with it. So it's becoming easier to identify because people just do it. So that's why I don't necessarily agree with the thing of where if you're not actively participating in it, you can't speak on it because people are just out there with the bullshit.
And that and so this is that one, and it's okay to focus on this, right? I think the concept that we're talking about, I think I like what y'all are going with it. I wish that more people learned in that way. You don't have to experience bad things to stay away from it. I think
I don't understand that argument at all. Like that don't make any sense to me.
But I think the overwhelming majority of people are curious, right? Every nigga that didn't make it back home thought he was, right? Every time niggas went to a party, nigga, you thought you was gonna be the one on the other side of the gun, right? So that just happens, right? We never think it's gonna be us, feel me? But in terms of this, right, with the women, she be revealing herself. And the only way you see these revelations, if you have the experience, you got to be able to identify them. If you can't identify them because you didn't go through it, it's going to be hard for you to just go off of what somebody else said. Even how a chick move, like, yo, I said this on the other panel. There's chicks are like, yo, I wanted to say, I got to thank Yeezy. Because I never seen that shit before. And the only way she learned it because she actually did it. No, y'all ain't listening.
We letting it breathe. We letting it breathe.
I got two more
Let it
points.
marinate. That's his favorite word.
Eat this up. I'll be right back, Shura.
The whole thing about experience, though, like just because you got experience in something, don't make you good at it necessarily, right? Right. I mean, if you were a mechanic for 20 years, but you were a bullshit mechanic, I'm not giving you my car over a guy that might be have only done it for 5 years, but he is more highly skilled at it. So I don't.
Sorry, Dub. I came back because they let you slide with necessarily.
Huh?
So necessarily is the acknowledgement of both sides, right? So when people say it don't necessarily make you a good mechanic, but you're not disqualifying that it does, though. So what do you actually mean?
What I mean is
time, not really.
Yeah, time doing a thing.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Does not make you damn. I'm listening necessarily again.
Because you see what I'm saying? Necessarily is like a both.
It don't make you no damn expert. Cause your ass failing. Cause this your third time in fourth grade.
Okay. Answer this question for me, Chief.
But we gonna be a fifth grade next year.
Answer this question for me.
That
how many reps?
All that.
How many reps do you need to become an expert? Everybody. Well, I'm not saying everybody knows this answer, but there's an actual answer, right?
You need accuracy.
Reps of what though? You know what I mean? Like weights.
So this is a thing. Like to become an expert, you need.
Let's say 30,000 hours or 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours is the ideal expert.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm asking that just because after 20 years.
But think about it this way.
Go ahead. I'm gonna heat this up real quick.
If you got 10,000 hours, okay, I go to the gun range a lot, right? If you go to the gun range every week and you got 10,000 at the gun range, but you never learn how to shoot the proper way or shoot the proper mechanics, proper technique, okay, great. You got 10,000 hours. You just pumping ammo down range. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't doing it the right way. You're not accurate at your target. You can do it all you want to. Have you actually been taught and trained how to do it the proper way to be an expert at it? Does that make sense?
So the thing that go ahead, William.
Go ahead.
Does that make sense before we go?
It makes sense. But the thing that I've noticed is we don't have experts on relationships on these panels. We have experts at sex because that's all they do. All they do is have sex. I don't have to have sex in order to have a relationship with women and more than one woman. I've done that, right? I understand the patience it takes to be with women long term, not just use them for sex and go, oh, well, on to the next. I have more. I think I have more experience actually having intention behind the women that I deal with versus some of the men on the panel. And that's 100% because most of the men on the panel have already admitted, oh yeah, man, I was a whore or a whoremonger. So what experience do you have with relationships versus what experience do you have putting your dick into something? And that's the difference between, I think, me and a lot of the men that speak is I actually have taken the time to try to figure out, hey, you're a woman, you have values, you have morals, you have ethics, you have philosophy, you have this, that you have that. I've tried to figure that out. To be honest, I don't know how many men on the panel have because they don't ever speak on that. They always speak on, yeah, I was able to smash this, smash that, and then move on, or smash this and move on. I was able to just get rid of her because it's 3 a.m. and she a big chick and I can't be caught outside with her. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what, Cheeky, I can speak to it because I've had 2 failed marriages. So I've always gave that information and came forthcoming about some of the things that I was flawed at and the things that I didn't necessarily pay attention to, or the fact that I didn't build foundations with those women, but I did have children with them. And at the fact just not knowing. So with my experience now, going into my 3rd marriage, I know the do's and don'ts now. I paid attention. I set a not only a foundation and built a bond with this woman, but we also have been transparent, because that was one of the things I was failing at, being transparent, but being attentive, paying attention. And like, you know, that what we say about red flags and making them yellow or making them green, I had flawed in that because I rushed into a lot too. I didn't take my time, and I was very undisciplined in that. Wanting to have love in my life, I forced it, I rushed it, and I have 2 failed marriages behind it. I have beautiful children behind those relationships, but I failed horribly in that aspect of marriage because I chose wrong. I didn't vet right, and I should have did everything properly. Now that I know that, I had got to pass that down to my children. Some of them are, you know, that are, well, I'll say majority, because they're in successful relationships and marriages and things of that nature engaged. So,
yeah,
you know, it's just bumping your head, like you said, sometimes you do. And at my age, and it's a big age, I can give that advice on things that they should look out for. And it's just like me being a grandparent as well. I see everything because I've raised my children, and now I'm helping them raise their children. So I mean, it's just sometimes you got to have the experience. Sometimes, you know.
I think similar to what Chiki is saying, it's like y'all be having failed relationships, but y'all think y'all relationship y'all better because y'all had sex. But your relationship still failed. The results, I'm saying the results is still the results.
Yeah, no, I don't think she's talking about you specifically, Miss
No,
Williams.
I'm saying like I'm not to you. So to the point of, I've been in the chat, y'all. Sorry. To the point of,
Oh shit, stay out the chat. Leave that alone.
to the point of, you're not gonna listen to somebody who's not having sex because your relationships are just friendships, but it's like all relationships are, right? But you feel like because you got sex out of it, somehow yours was better, but your end result was still negative, right? And if you're a woman saying that shit, you're ending up with a higher body count. You're ending up with more trauma because the niggas is giving you trauma. You ending up with some baby that you don't want from somebody. That's on the man and the woman's side. And a lot of y'all be catching STDs. But somehow you think, oh, because you caught a bunch of STDs and you got kids out of wedlock and you got all these bodies, that you better at relationships with somebody, but you still ain't got no motherfucking relationship. You're still single like the rest of us. So how are you better than anybody? Because you failing in a more risky way.
I think it's more about ego. I think that's more or less like if you have a majority of men who their goal is to have a high body count or to outdo. You know, I think
of course, but then to say that's what it's about.
Don't say that you're a relationship people who actually want a relationship. I don't think that's for the people who actually want a relationship. I don't really think
Mr. met 40% of wives and left them in the wake.
Nobody said wives, y'all did.
You said
everybody.
Good women, good marriageable women,
good.
Women.
No, I ain't say nothing about no marriage, but I just said they were good. And good is subjective.
Good enough.
No, good is subjective. So man, Cheeky, I actually got to challenge that young fella.
Okay,
I don't know, man.
What are you challenging though?
Well, the fact of the matter, you're saying you had successful relationships without having sex with women, right?
No. My point is the men that come up, they don't speak on relationships. They speak on sex. They don't really talk about relationships.
I'm speaking to what you specifically said in reference.
Yeah.
Though. You're saying
yeah. So I was saying in comparison because they haven't given any knowledge or experience or said that they have experience in relationships. They just talk about fucking. So we never hear about their relationships.
Well, no, but this is my thing. My challenge and my counter would be: can you truly have a full relationship with a woman without having sex with her? If we're talking intimacy. If we're talking about an intimate relationship, right? Do you ever truly know that woman? Have you ever truly gotten all out of that woman you can get if you don't have a physical connection with her? That's a very important part of any type of intimate relationship between men and women.
Okay, so can you get intimacy without sex?
Full intimacy, no.
Well, what level? See, now we have to ask the question: how much intimacy can you get without sex?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I know it's not 100% because, like I said, then we can go to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? That's not the first level, but I think it's the third where it's there for the sociological and intimate relationships and social acceptance, all these different things, so on and so forth. At least between men and women, again, in an intimate relationship. So that's what I'm saying. If you never have sex with that woman, have you had a successful relationship? And again, this is not no.
No, it's not. I'm saying it's a challenge. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So, and especially if you're still not in those relationships. So if the men that have failed relationships have had sex, but their relationships failed, and then you've had relationships without sex and they still failed, how can you say that you know better relationships than a man that just talk about the sex?
Well, because it doesn't sound like these men they don't ever talk about the relationship aspect to the quote unquote sexual encounters they have. And they make it seem as if they dig and ditch, like they fuck and move on. Like, so how can you have, if you count having sex with somebody moving on a relationship, then that means that most men do.
No, I agree. No,
I'm sexual aspect is intimacy. Like sometimes sex is just trying to get a nut.
You're kind of missing each other. So, Cheek, I admit what you're saying. I'm talking about for the dudes that do, right? Because you do have.
Okay, so that's different. Then I'm not talking about.
I'll use like Shad, for example. Shad talked about being in relationships, but at the same time, he talks from just being out here, being single.
But see, that's the difference between you and Shad. You've talked about being in a marriage for what, 10 years? You said, right? 10 years?
Yeah.
That you talked about a relationship. Again, when we hear a lot of these men talk, they don't really speak on the relationship. So the only conclusion is, if you don't speak on it, I can't assume that you've had them, because every man up here wants to be the macho god, or nigga that I'm that dog, I'm that nigga, I can just fucking move on.
Yeah, but that's what we know though. That's ego. That's machismo. That's man shit. So, but we know what HAMP be saying. We know a lot of these niggas on some Huggy Bear shit. Again, man, shout out to the player Himalaya Sean. Sean said he kissing both lips. He said that on TV. On panel. Just saying.
I see you, double. Okay, so fantastic. If that may be the case, then more men need to claim that, because otherwise, if they don't claim that, I can't assume that is the case. How can I verify that? The only thing I'm saying is I have verified and have said very openly, I have been in a relationship at least twice, at the minimum twice. Most of these men don't even talk about it because they're all trying to, and that's not to say they haven't, but if they haven't come out of their mouths and said, yeah, no, I've for sure been in a relationship, have tried to take care and understand women, have done these things, then why do we give them so much credence to be able to speak on women in relationships when they never talk about being in one? They always talk about having sex. I think there's a difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know, it's not safe to assume, but for the most part, at some point in time, most adults have had at least one relationship in their lifetime. I think a lot of them are, just not, full committed monogamous relationships, right? But they at least had one of those. So I agree with you. I'm 1,000%. We're talking about just the sex aspect of it, the sex.
So
and then go ahead.
Say that. I missed that last part. You saying they haven't been in full-on committed monogamous relationships?
Several times. I'm saying they have at least one. So I'm saying it's safe to assume most adults have had one. So what I'm saying is, okay. Once we acknowledge that, right? Because again, dudes don't want to seem weak or whatever. They don't want to, tell you about how the bitch cheated on them with their brother and he stayed, but then he eventually left. You feel me? So taking that into consideration, of course, like you said, as men, again, a big part of a man's identity is what? His ability to get sex from women. That gives you status. That gives you recognition amongst men and all these different things, and even the women. That right?
To a degree, for sure.
Yeah. So the women, they're not going to admit this, but the women want the nigga that the hoes want. The other women want. They don't want no nigga that don't nobody want.
Right, but that also because this is kind of where I can speak on that a little bit, and I've run into a little bit of drama. Don't want to go crazy, but yeah, they like that shit till people start inboxing, people start doing shit, right? So yeah, I get it. They do want a man that other women want to a degree, and that is true. I don't deny that. But sex, me not having sex with a woman doesn't change that about them at all. As a matter of fact, it's caused them to question whether or not I'm having sex with somebody else or somebody.
But that's what I'm saying, and I've heard you say it. You said it's the fact that you are trying to wait to marriage has caused issues and problems, despite women wanting you, right?
Yeah,
you saying that, brother.
No. What I'm saying is, yes, I'm agreeing. I'm listening to you. So yes,
All right, so that's what I'm saying. So now that goes back to my original premise. If it's called, and you're the guy that the women want, plenty of women, let's say you dealt with, and they've been vulnerable, they told you these different things, but when they finally get to the point where it's like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to wait for this marriage shit. You know what I'm saying? I need some dick, pause. And you like, nah, baby, that's not my philosophy. That's not my thing. How can you fully know that woman if now you don't break your rules?
No, hold on. We're on the same page. I don't need to know that woman because we're not aligned. That's all I need to know. See, the thing is that if that is a limiter for your ability to get into a relationship with me, then that's perfect. I don't need to be here. That's
all right. Now pause. This is what show is this? What show is this?
This might be risky. Yeah.
And what is HAMP Love asking? Majority, minority. Or the majority or minority of women gonna be on that, hey, I need some dick, nigga. Pause, type time.
Oh no, that's a majority.
Yeah. All right, so that's what we saying. So what we say, the vast majority of women, the vast majority of women, you cannot and you will never know them without having sexual access to them.
No, you can't. Okay, so here's this thing. You keep conflating sex with knowing women. And I what I'm saying, or where's our disagreement at? Right? This is where we disagree, and I think we may continue to disagree, is I don't need to have sex to know a woman. I have to listen to what she says and thinks. That is how because here's the thing, you can have sex with a woman for 1,000 times, even years, and she still switch up.
Agreed. She can hide shit and all this other shit. I agree. Okay. But what we're saying is, more likely than not, minority of the time, you're going to have another level of vulnerability after you got to the bottom of that pussy, brother.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know. Fantastic. You're right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I don't know if I can say that. This is where your experience, I would have to either take your word or find some man, because there are men that disagree with you, by the way. Y'all will call them whatever y'all gonna call them, but there are men that say you don't need to have sex to do that. So now y'all have to battle that out. I can't speak. I know my place. At this point in time, I would have to agree with you and go, I can't answer. I don't know if I can answer that, because how else would you know unless you participate?
And that's all, Cheek. That's all we saying. Cheek, like I said, I see you on IG. I know what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And you guys were having a great conversation earlier, you know what I'm saying, about, the expertise and, the hours logged and so on and so forth, right? All these different things. And that's how it is. That shit applies to sex too, brother. It ain't just one way, it's two ways. Just like she you know what I'm saying? So it applies both ways. It applies to sex also. So the number of hours you have in sex as a man, or women, that's experience. And the more women you have sex with, I'm not, and I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. The more experience you gain, and therefore now you know how to, be successful sexually with more women, because you had more women and see, okay, well, damn, she like that, she like that, she like that. Okay, I'm at fucking 10. All right, 7 out of the 10 like this shit, so this gonna work 70% of the time. So I'm gonna keep this one, and that the other shit that ain't, I'm gonna throw that out. I'm gonna add it to my arsenal. You know what I'm saying? The leg up, motherfucking.
Sure. But now we're talking about technique. Now we're not even talking about relationships at this point. Now we're talking about how to be better at sex.
That's something that cheap. That's a part of the relationship. So again, like I said,
we're on the same page. I agree with you. It is part of the relationship, but you don't have to. Learning that thing is not something that's making that relationship quote unquote deeper. It's making it more sexually pleasurable.
Okay, and I'm gonna use your thing. You're waiting for marriage for sex, correct?
Sure. Yeah, we'll say that.
All right. So if you're waiting till marriage for sex. All right.
I don't know. Marriage may not be on the table, so I don't even want to commit to that no more.
Okay, well, my bad. But okay,
we'll say we're waiting. We'll say we're waiting.
Yeah, you're waiting for the right woman that aligns with you and the philosophy and all this other shit.
All that shit. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that any woman previous to where you had these relationships, didn't have sex, they were successful, they ran it, you know what I'm saying? And I hate we say unsuccessful relationship. It's just like, most relationships
right.
It's
just
we're on the same page, right? So I don't want to call them unsexual, but that that experience, right? Do you think that the woman that you finally matches in everything you need, right?
Okay.
And have sex, do you think there will be any woman before her that you could have had a deeper connection with, adding the sex to it?
Again, you're asking me something I wouldn't know the answer to. But
no, I'm purposely asking you to speculate on this one.
Okay, so if you ask me this, I wouldn't. How would I measure that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
okay. So I got it. No, I know how to measure that. So no, I don't think I would be able to have a deeper connection with any other woman before that one, because for me, it's based off of your morals and philosophy. So that means every other woman that didn't work, she showed or indicated an action that goes against my principle as a man, which is why the relationship ended. But if this one has shown consistently that she's aligned with the principles and has stayed with the task of doing so, then I can't imagine a deeper experience for anybody else, because she's the only one that's been able to do that.
That's okay. I got you. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, you that one makes sense. That one aligns. But and I gotta talk shit to the chat as I always do. No one is motherfucking again. All you motherfuckers talking shit in the chat. Okay, y'all ain't no fucking virgin. So shut your stupid ass up. All right, y'all out here fucking. All right, in your relationship, out of your relationship. So shut the fuck up. Okay, nobody said fucking sex equals a relationship or only based on a relationship. Like I said, as a man that was married, I promise you, I wouldn't have been married for fucking the time I was married if I wouldn't get no pussy. You hear me? And 99.99999% of men are the same way.
So let me ask you. Hold on. Before we go past that, let me ask you this: did your wife align with your morals, values, and principles, and did it stop at any point?
Yes, and it wasn't that our moral values and principles in the line. Again, she crossed the line, so she did something that what I'm saying.
So a principle was crossed. Now, had she not crossed that principle, would you still be with her?
Yeah, 1000%.
So my point is this: I highly doubt it's the sex that kept you there or will maintain a relationship. Oh, I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not downplaying. I'm not downplaying her or downplaying you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We already know you get there. Okay, you part of that 30% that can do it. Okay, good for you. All right. I hope I can be that one day. Hopefully, no homo. Right. Same thing with your ex-wife. She may have been able to throw it down, but sex wasn't the reason why she could or couldn't keep you. It was the crossing of the principle is the reason why she couldn't keep you.
No, I agree. But the whole point of her keeping me to that point, a major part of it was sex. At least 49%. If she at any point in time, so hold on, just like she's saying she crossed my principle, right? If she would have, if I fantastic, never go be in no motherfucking sensitive marriage or relationship. That's impossible. Bitch, you know that?
Yeah. Okay. We all same thing.
If at any point in time she cut that pussy off, she cut off. She out of there.
Now, so are you saying sex pacified the principle crossing?
Well, up to like I say, it was
to a degree.
It wasn't to a degree. Yeah, I mean that's something that I was like, damn, that pussy is kind of good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find another one. You know what I'm saying? I did have that in the back of my mind.
Okay.
But like I said,
so we gonna give her a props. She had that thing, but
definitely 10 years. Hey, baby, listen, that shit was molded, nigga. It was molded. You feel me?
No, you know what I mean? Molded.
You know, it was molded. Okay. Brother. You know what I mean?
Okay. So if we okay, I'm listening to you. Go ahead. My bad. I'm gonna go on mute.
No. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying this. And again, this is opinionated. I mean, but it would coincide with psychology and sociology and things like this, and it would tell you the ultimate vulnerability that a woman can do for a man is sexual access. So what I'm saying, even if we start going that route, from the mental emotional aspect of it, once a woman gives her body to that man, and especially consistently, there's a level of vulnerability that she has with, you know what I'm saying, unlike men that's just friends or even men that she may be dating or, you know, be attracted to without that, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, unlocking that door, as they say.
So
right?
let me answer your question now with everything you're saying. I'll say this, because of my ignorance to sex and unlocking that level of intimacy, I've been more than happy or content with the intimacy that I've gotten from women in relationships. Now there may be a deeper level, which I am ignorant to, by all means, fine, right? And this is on the premise that what you're saying is true, because there are men that will say otherwise. But because I think you to be a decent person, I'll take your word for it. And even Hemp has said this, and there's other men that have agreed with you that sex unlocks a deeper level of intimacy. So here's what I'll say: I may not have unlocked that, but I'm perfectly okay with not unlocking it, because the intimacy that I've gotten from women and the level that in which I've gotten it has been more than enough, right?
Yeah,
I think
satisfactory for you. I got you.
Right.
I got you.
And I think being honest about that, I think when you unlock a different level of intimacy, there's a different level of responsibility, which I don't even want to take on. So maybe I just don't even want to do that.
No, and I got you. And that's what we said. So
Chief,
well, you got it, Mr. Will.
Hey, can I? So, have you ever like really liked the girl and was dealing with her, and she stopped dealing with you because she wanted to be intimate and you didn't? I'm saying
no, I haven't. No, I've not really been into a girl, and they were not really into me, and they didn't want to continue a relationship. Every girl that has been like, I don't want to do this because we not fucking. I didn't know them well enough to even like them. If you get what I'm saying, does that am I making sense? Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was cute. We had some hobbies together and shit like that. But like, yeah, I didn't know him well enough to be like, man, I really like this one.
But yeah, man. Oh shit, somebody in the back, true. Nah. So all I'm saying is, when it comes down to you, right? You're literally a special case, right? Very, very rare, right?
Sure.
So what we're saying is your perspective is accurate. And I trust in everything you say, right? But the majority of guys are not going to take your route, is what we're saying. And the majority of women, as you said, majority of women see it as much as they won't admit it, see it the same way. You feel me? You can be the greatest guy in the world.
For sure.
Yeah,
but if you don't fuck,
exactly.
it's not going. It really does. It's true. That is true. I swear to God, it's true. That's 100%.
So again, even for the women, even though they try to make the men the bad guys because y'all just sex. You said it yourself. You're a great guy. All this shit, la. And you like, well, hey, ain't no dick around here, baby. He's like, oh, nigga, what?
Well,
you with them.
So here's what I would say. I would agree with you that women don't want extremes, right? I'm on the extreme end. A whoremonger is on the extreme end, just on the opposite end, right? They would want something more so in the middle, which is what I would push. I would never tell them. I would never tell if I have kids, not wanting that, but if I do have kids, or I would never tell my son follow my path, because it wouldn't make sense for him to try to navigate this world in that way. Right. There's nothing about this makes any logical sense. And I wouldn't be able to explain to him on a logical level why you should be a virgin. That doesn't mean be a whoremonger, right? Because there is a middle ground. If you're going to have sex and you're going to be committed to this person, and you trust and love them, or sure, have sex, right? That's something that you'd have to figure out. My dad didn't even tell me to be a virgin. That's not, if you ask him, he'll never say, nah, I told him to do that. I did this because of my own observations and how I've seen how sex does change women's connectivity to men, in the sense of they become more clingy, especially in high school, because that's where I saw this happen at. And it's just like, bro, it's kids being kids, but one of these kids is being a lot more hurt than the other kid, is what I'm noticing. Because niggas can move on quick. They be like, hey, I fucked her, but on to the next. Women in high school, I have not seen I mean, there's hoes in high school, of course. I've seen that, and they were sucking dick in the bathroom. But the girls that was just like, I like him, I really like him, he's my world, and then they get fucked. It gets worse. It's just like,
they think they finna go to college together, and he like, yo, sorry, this shit over.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. And like I say, even at at earlier ages, right? Like I say, it's even more prevalent. That's what I'm talking about. When a woman is the less experience of the woman is, that's why sex is so important. Because like you said, she more likely than not, all right, majority of the time, that woman is going to have, if she not no straight up hoe, some type of connection, you know what I'm saying, to that guy because she gave him her body. So that's just the thing I'm coming from. Like you said,
Yeah,
for the
no,
most
no,
part,
I know, sure.
majority of the time, people are not gonna want to, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you saying you wouldn't even suggest it to your son. It's just what we're saying. Sex is extremely, extremely. I don't know if I want to say, but no, fuck it, yeah, important. For a relationship, sex is important on both sides. It's just that men are not afraid to admit it. Women just act like it's this thing that's whatever. But like you said, for the most part, if they ain't fucking their husband, they fucking somebody.
Ooh, I don't
That's
know.
what we know for sure.
All right,
Like I said,
okay,
brother.
okay. All right, I'm gonna let everybody else go. So, Victor, I don't know if he's
Yeah,
supposed to
what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother. What you got?
Nice, nice. No, man, I was just listening. I've been here before. You guys have had me before, and this is a topic I love talking about, relationships. And last time you guys were here, we were talking about, I think, talking about the same thing, relationships and marriage and um, all of that stuff. But listening and I was just like, man, yeah, relationships. It's the way I look at it. It's like a whole package. You can't just put one thing and say this is how you see a relationship, a healthy relationship or whatnot. You can't just look at sex and be like, you know, sex is the base of relationships. It's a whole package, and I mean, you got to be talking like there's dating, sex, and then there's living together. You can be dating and you still don't know that person. You can date and then have sex with that person and you still can't really know that person. It's until you actually have the whole package. You went from dating to getting married, having sex with that person and then living together, and after that then you can say, look, I understand what relationship is. Now just picking one of those three and saying, oh yeah, I've had sex with a lot of women or I have sex with a lot of men and I understand relationships. It's like, really? Okay. How long were you dating? Are you dating now? Yes. Are you married? No. Are you living together? Yes or no? All of these things, in my view, unless you have experienced which I call it like the full package of what it really means to be in a relationship and a healthy relationship. You can talk about it, but I don't think you're in a position to like give advice in a way, but you can talk about it. Yeah, sure. But there's so much to a relationship that, you know, comes together that you can't just be talking about one thing and be like, oh, I'm an expert in relationships. But you guys are talking about like sex. Um, I forgot what I was going to say actually about that, but yeah. But good conversation though. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you're the guy. You waited until you got married. You and your wife are virgins, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, do you feel like you have more experience than a whoremonger?
I feel like I think in certain, like if you're talking about a healthy relationship, if you're talking about what it means or what it takes to actually have a healthy relationship, a healthy family, uh, I would say the right way to do it. I mean, I wouldn't put myself as an expert because I haven't been married for a long time compared to a lot of people. Um, but am I doing things the right way to give advice? And good advice, absolutely. Now, somebody that's been sleeping around, they might have more experience on what it means to sleep with multiple women and to that kind of experience. I can't talk about that because I don't have that experience. But if you're talking about relationships, a healthy relationship with, one woman, one man, then yes, I can talk about that. But
Now,
like I
you
said
saying
before,
are you talking about the fact that you abstained before you got married? Because I think it's kind of
yeah, I
irrelevant
mean,
as far as talking about your veteran.
yeah, yeah, me and my wife, I got married in my late 20s, 29. My wife, she got married when she was 24. And when we got married, we both were virgins. We both waited for that specific time for marriage for us to do the thing. Um, and that was a commitment that we made with ourselves and, before God, because we're Christians as well. And we believed in the benefits of doing that. We saw what was the benefits of doing that, even though the world does it completely different. Even though our friends, good friends, we didn't judge our friends. They had sex with multiple girls, and her friends had sex with multiple men. We didn't look at them as less people, of course not. But for us individually, we decided to wait. And I was in my younger years, I was dating somebody, and I was young, and then I went about 6 years of not being with anybody, and then I met my wife. We started talking, and then from there, we kind of had the same vision, and I gotta say that it's the best way of doing it. But it's the hardest thing you can do for yourself. It's the hardest thing for you to wait, to be disciplined. It's the hardest. Now, I know that people don't want to, they don't really care for that because that's not the way the world is run. People are accustomed to sleeping around, having, a relationship for a year, and they sleep around. They have like that kind of family playhouse kind of thing. They live together, but they're not married. They're having sex and all of that. And I mean, I understand that that's the way the world is. But for me and my wife, we dated before we got married. We dated for 5 years, and we had an amazing relationship. Now, did we understand? Did we really understand each other within those 5 years? Just because we didn't have sex? Of course not. There's so much to learn. Even when you get married and you have sex, you still have so much to learn about each other. So it's and then after we got married, we did a thing. Did we know everything about each other then because we had sex with each other? No, we still. And today we're 9 years married. We've been together for 15. We got 2 kids.
Congratulations.
And it's like, do we know everything about each other now? No, we don't. We don't. But am I more qualified? Am I more qualified than a different person that's been sleeping around with other in certain areas? Yes, I would say so. I would say so. But I know that that's not what the world wants. That's not what the world wants. That's not what people want.
What you had something to say, Mr. Williams?
I'm just thinking on what he said, because when he said that he could give expert knowledge on it, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just looking at it all.
I guess on how to maintain the relationship, because his marriage is still 9 years, right? And then when we do like the stats, we understand that the arranged marriages, they're not having sex before that. Those are the most successful marriages, and this is the way that things are supposed to be. But it's just like a bunch of people just running their mouth about all the world is so problematic, but while also wanting to be big participants in why it's so problematic. You want to complain about shit that you're a part of. You're not fixing it, right? So HAMP has said, like, It don't matter if he was a whoremonger or not. That didn't help him be a better relationship guy.
That didn't help
It
me either.
actually may give you a quench or make you insatiable or actually prevent you from being able to have a good relationship. When we talk about women with higher body counts, when we talk about women who have past of sexual promiscuity, they don't bond the same with men. Their marriages don't last long. So if we can understand that there's so many negative things coming from us wanting to be unsexually disciplined, when somebody says that they prefer to be sexually disciplined, that they shouldn't be being ostracized. They shouldn't be the one to be told to shut up, because the ones who are out here doing the stupid stuff, you're actually fucking up the dating pool. You're actually putting STDs out there. You're actually having children out of wedlock, unplanned. You're actually ruining the community. You're actually a big participant in creating the problem. But yet the people who have learned and looked at it and said, oh wait, that's problematic for me to be moving like that. Look at all the issues that come from that. We need to move differently. The moment that somebody says, well, we need to move differently because I'm looking at the dysfunction that your actions are leaving the community in, we got to shut up.
No, I don't think you need to
Those
shut
people
up.
need to shut up. Those people don't need to be getting listened to, because you don't know nothing about this whole life. Nobody should know about the whole life. That's the point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because even now, like with my sexual background, I know that doesn't help me in my relationship. It doesn't. I would be a fool to think just because of my body count that would help me in a relationship. But it also has taught me a lot of shit of the do's and don'ts, and how to actually treat my woman. You know, not just about being sexual with her. I actually like my woman. I'm not just in love with her, but I like her. And that's a difference too. So,
But most people, when they look at myself or they look at my wife, they say, "Look, you guys can't really speak much about it either. You can't be calling yourselves experts," which we don't. We don't call each other experts on relationships. We know our relationship. We know how we've done it. But people look at us and say, "Look, you guys can't really speak on relationships that much because." How can you speak about it if you've never been with multiple people to understand people in general? And it's like, I get it. I get where that person is coming from. How can I speak about sleeping with, having a body count of 20 or 30 people and being in multiple relationships to understand people in general if I've never been with multiple people? And I get that. But I think that I don't think people really understand it. Maybe it's because they don't encounter people like myself and my wife, where we've only been committed to one person, each other. And, it's kind of like a weird thing to listen to or to experience, listening to somebody who's only been committed to one person. That's a hard thing in this world, which a lot of people don't know how to process that.
So you talking about in general?
Yeah, I'm talking about in general. People don't know how to process that. How is that possible that you can be committed to one person? They don't know how to process that, and so because they don't know how to process that, they shut that off completely, and they give their attention to people who have been, in multiple relationships and have had sex with multiple people, which I get it, and that's why I don't call myself an expert because I am not an expert on relationships. I still got so much to learn about myself, about my wife, about relationship, about marriage, about being a father. So much I got to learn. So I'm no expert, but there's certain areas. If a young adult came up to me and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" I think compared to somebody who's been sleeping around in the world and jumping from relationship to relationship, I think I'm a better fit to guide that young adult to a better path, let's say that way, than the other person. Now, am I more expert than the other person? No, we both have different,
Do you think you might be
different lives.
Do you think you might be cutting somebody else's experience though, just because it's not your own? Because the way you're saying, I think it's the way you're wording that. The fact of that just because someone was sleeping around when you don't have their background on it. I think it would be an assumption that they don't know anything about relationships because they have a past of sleeping with multiple partners. I think that's where it's kind of like you would get kind of lost in how you translating that. Undercutting someone else just because they have had that past, but you don't really know what they actually went through in relationships.
Right. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
It's just another
I mean,
way to look at it, you know.
yeah, it is another way to look at it. It's just, I guess it comes down to what that person wants. If a young adult came up to two people, one is somebody who's been sleeping around, and the other one has been committed to one person only. What does that young adult really want? Does the young adult want a relationship with a girl that he wants to build a life with, and he wants only that girl, or doesn't, maybe he doesn't care about that. Maybe he just, wants to live free and have a relationship now, and then doesn't work, and then have another relationship, and then jump from a relationship to it all depends on what the person wants. I personally wanted to have a girl that was committed to only me, and when I saw that, then I committed myself also to just her. So it all depends on what the person wants. Now, um, you know, depending on what you want, that's the information you're gonna get. That's the information you're gonna search for. So most people look at my situation and they're like, "Man, that's boring." It's boring to be committed to just one person. It's boring to you know, just have sex with one person. That's boring. But are you looking to be entertained, or are you looking to have a lifetime relationship with somebody? I mean, that's up to the person. So, but am I an expert? No, I wouldn't consider myself an expert. Heck no. I'm not even 40. I'm almost 40, but I'm not even 40 to call myself an expert. No. But I would, if somebody asked me, I would advise people to wait. And even if you're in that position where you've slept with multiple people, and you say, "Well, I haven't waited. Now what?" I would say, hey, you haven't waited, but you can make a decision to not start over, but you know, try not to sleep around so much. And if you see that girl, or if you see that guy that likes you, maybe try to commit only to that person. But it's I don't know what it's like to sleep with multiple people. I don't know. I don't know what comes with living like that. I don't. You guys know more than I do. Maybe not Chicky. Chicky is you're a virgin still, so you wouldn't know that. But
I did do things different because I learned from my past with this woman, with my fiance. The fact that I didn't immediately sleep with her, the fact that I actually took the time to not only vet her, but make sure that we were equally yoked and everything. So I did have to change things around because my sexual history was not going to give me this woman. Just wasn't.
Right. So there is something that comes with, our past or our decisions that we make. There's something that comes with, and I always tell people, especially young adults, always tell, look, if you're gonna decide to have sex with somebody and you don't want really to build a life with that person, remember that there's something more powerful than you can see that comes with that decision. You don't see what's coming, but there's something more powerful that is happening at that moment that you don't see with your eyes. And that's what most people don't really see, that once they connect with another person sexually, there's something spiritual going on. Even if you don't believe it, you don't have to be a Christian, you don't have to believe in God, but there's something going on in that connection that makes a big difference. That later in the future, you might decide you guys are not compatible, you guys are not, you're not for each other, and then you move on, and then you marry somebody else. Now you married somebody else, but you've already had a history, a sexual history with other people, and that can make a big difference in that relationship in which you're trying to hold, which a lot of people don't think about that. And that, when I was younger, that was the one thing that I heard somebody talk about, that, you know, once you have sex with a person, if you're not committed to that person and you move on, don't think that you just left something behind and there's nothing that is getting stuck with you. You're always leaving something, or you're always taking something with you to the next relationship. And if that number adds on to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or whatever people that you've slept with, well, there's all of those people that you slept with. You're carrying all of that stuff with you, with, you know, into a relationship or a marriage that you're trying to keep in the future. So, yeah. But there's certain things that I can't really talk about. I mean, if you have a panel talking about what it's like to sleep with multiple women and dealing with that, then I have to stay quiet because I don't know what that's like.
Okay, so I guess the counterpoint, because this is something that they've said before, right? Or this is something that older people say to younger people, like, I've lived a life that you haven't, or I've lived up to a point that you haven't, right? So I think it would do you some good to listen to me, right? So they typically use the fact that they're older and have experienced more life as a qualifier, or even what do you call it? Like a stamp of approval that you should listen to what I'm saying to do to this. So why do we think that shouldn't apply to men that, well, you didn't say this, but my question is, why are we so, or should we be more attentive or listen to more of people that have had the sexual encounters, right? Because they're given an experience that we can't, just based on logic, right? So I guess the question is, like, how do you value that, or how do we determine that this is valuable versus it's not? Because I'll never know what it will be to be a whoremonger, but a whoremonger could be, or transform, or I guess metamorph into a decent man, or not a whoremonger, because whoremonger to some men is just not immoral. It's just, it is what it is.
I look at both of them with equal value to give information, because one is giving information. Let's say somebody who's slept around and is older now, his information has got just as equal value as the guy that waited for marriage and he was only committed to one person. They both had equal value in information, because one has got information that he's giving that, you know, he decided to go this path, and all of these things fell because of his decisions. And then you have another guy that's like, look, I decided to go this path, and, you know, of course, no marriage and no relationship is perfect, but looking at both sides, I think both sides have equal value on information. I think people should listen to both and make a decision for themselves. I don't think one is better than the other, and, you know, I really don't. But yeah, people should listen to both. People should pay attention to both sides. The old man who was sleeping around, and let's say the old man who was faithful for life to one person. People should listen to both. They should give attention to both as equal important information.
Well, you know what I need to figure out, What we need to do is figure out what intimacy is to men, right? And what it is to women, because I think that would also, I think we get two different answers. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying that men don't know what intimacy is. I just think we see it differently, and I don't know if women see intimacy the same way as men do. So there's a couple of questions that I think need to be asked on the opposite end. Yeah, go ahead.
How do men see intimacy?
Sherelle, what do you think?
We definitely need to hear because unfortunately right now we don't have the not to say not the right guys, right? Mr. Williams is older, more mature. Mr. Williams is older, more mature, so his level of intimacy has changed, right?
So what do you think intimacy
is? Then we have
Tiki, what do you think intimacy is? Answer the question.
Hold on, Mr. Williams talking though. I was like, oh, Chico.
Answer the damn question.
My intimacy has gotten better since I've gotten older.
Mr. Williams, don't try to save him. What are you doing?
What?
This cheeky question.
Okay. All right, sure, go ahead.
Nah, Mr. Williams, we listening. That's all. We listening.
No. Get the fuck out. It's a show. Answer the question. Dang, I got a phone call. Y'all went to going crazy. Come on. Answer the question.
What's the question?
The question is, what do you think intimacy is? You say men and women see it differently. So how do men see it?
I don't know. I'm not talking about, I don't speak for men, but it's what I've recognized. Like, I'm too.
You a man.
Yeah, but I'm not the same kind of man, apparently. We on two different levels.
The type of man you is, because you got to represent the type of man you is.
You speaking for all men.
Oh, okay. Well, so here's what I'm gonna say. I think intimacy is. I think there's a level of like vulnerability that come with women that I would consider intimacy from them, like when they're starting to speak on things that I know is not easy to do for women. Like one, sexual things is one thing, but to me, at this point, that doesn't really mean much because most women are just sexually active. But two, when they start talking about like some of the dreams and aspirations that they have in regards to you in the relationship, like I've met too many women that have told me they don't want children, but after being in a relationship, now they want kids. That level of vulnerability, or saying, "Hey, this is something I want to do because I trust you enough to pursue this aspect of life," I think is a big deal. And their reasons for not wanting children typically comes from the experiences from other men. So when I hear something like that, I take that to be intimate or vulnerable. I think sexual advancements, when they know your stance, even in a relationship, is intimate. Like that doesn't, and when you're in a relationship, that don't mean they don't try or they don't they don't grab or do whatever they got to do. I take that as okay. That's
what do you think? What do you think?
Hold on, Sherelle, cheeky. Now, this is where age comes in, okay? And you know, this is what I always say. Be your age, ever been mine?
Yeah, there we go.
Intimacy. We're talking about the affection, giving affirmation.
Of course.
Studying her love language, if she has a love language, or both of you, how you're bonding. Those are the things I'm talking about with being attentive to women.
Okay.
Or if her love language, it might just be buying things. Like my woman loves acts of service, but she loves to buy people gifts. She loves to make sure that people are uplifting. My love language, affirmation and affection, but I also like to be there and be stable for someone, whether they're in pain or what have you.
So you think intimacy is based off your love language?
No, intimacy is based on
it's based on connection. It's based on connection. Yeah.
Yeah, but those again, when you start doing all of those, right?
To your woman, and you just like if you grab your, some people it's just touch. You know what I'm saying? It's skin to skin contact. You have to pay attention to all that. Now, it might sound different to you, but like I said, this is where my age comes into play.
It don't sound
And what
different.
y'all think women think intimacy is? I'm interested to
That's
know.
what you can ask my woman if
Wait, that was your
That was for
your
the
idea.
our ideas. That's we was answering our ideas. Yeah.
That's what
I
y'all
was
think intimacy is to men, right?
Yeah, I guess so. That's why I would think most men
men
take
and
that.
women. It applies to both.
No,
think
it's
it's a
different.
it's different.
I think women is different.
No.
Like my ex would tell me this. It's they don't view it the same. Like
No, they don't.
I don't know how to explain it because she tried to
No,
explain it.
women look at intimacy completely different from men. Women, I think I look at my wife and
If
the way
y'all never heard
the way
women
she looks at
tell us
intimacy is connection. Like how much
exactly, but
am
they
I
gonna speak on
connecting?
love language. I'm telling y'all what older women
Yes. Yeah,
love
but
language.
even
Find you out what
younger women.
a woman's love language is.
Yeah, even younger women, the connection that you can have with them that goes along with their love language. If you can do that, that's what they're
So
looking for.
what's a tangible example of a connection that would be deemed intimacy for a woman?
Well, like Mr. Williams said, it all depends on the love language. Like my wife, she loves to spend time. She loves when we're going down the street, I hold her hand or put my arm around her. That connection that she wants to feel close to me. That's her intimacy.
Oh, so like you feel like with women, it's like more like it's not necessarily just sex. It's the moments that you spend together, the connections, the holding the hand, stuff like that.
Giving you
Yeah,
flowers.
Telling them
it's exactly flowers,
The words
buying
of
flowers.
affirmation, buying them
Word.
gifts, thinking of them. So, but
Yeah.
y'all don't see that as intimacy
Yeah,
No,
we
I
do.
on the male
Yeah,
side.
yeah. No, I do. I do.
For real. For real, I just told you my own personal. That's what I
But Chicky, how old are you, Chicky? How old are you?
29.
28, about to be 29.
Okay. Okay. I'm 10 years
Yeah,
older, so but it shouldn't make really much of a
it's a
difference.
person to person thing, bro. Like there's no
I
universal
guess.
answer
Yeah.
to intimacy because mine
And
is
like
very practical.
And like Mr. Williams said,
So what you think
it depends
intimacy
on the
is?
age.
If it's
It
practical.
varies because of ages too, because the older you get, like
y'all
the
get to
thing.
being 50, hopefully, God willing, y'all get to 50. I'm 49. So guess what?
Yeah.
It
Get
changes.
the fuck out of here.
Hey, you will change every 5 years.
Yeah, it's different because if you're asking a young woman what intimacy is, or if you ask a young man what intimacy is, he's gonna give you a completely different answer than somebody that's
more than
40,
sex.
50. Exactly.
More than
Because a younger guy or a younger girl is gonna look at intimacy as sex. That's like the biggest thing for them. Now, for somebody that's in their 40s, 50s, they're not looking at just sex. They're looking at connection because they really understand the relationship. They understand women, and women understand men a lot more because of age. When you're younger, you really don't understand much about each
Is
other.
it age or is it experience?
Both, I guess. I would say both.
Because age
Age.
and wisdom don't come at the same time.
I would say experience will teach
You could be an old fool.
Yeah,
Or an old
experience.
virgin.
I have been that.
Yeah, experience
You
will
still
teach
ain't.
you.
Nah, I'm better now. I'm sorry.
But for men,
You was an
intimacy
old fool
is.
about a week ago.
How and when and where? How?
You got delivered Sunday. It's
How did I
Tuesday.
get delivered? What are you talking about, Sunday?
I think you got married. Was it married? Didn't you get married? What, last week or 2 weeks ago?
No, my wedding is in 2026 September.
Oh, I thought you already got married. I thought that's what you were saying.
You still out here soiling your royal earths.
Hell, with who?
She said, "How?"
What with my fiance? What are you talking about? Now I'm
just
trying
saying.
to make a baby, but it ain't gonna
Y'all
never
keep
happen.
letting Tiki dodge the question. Y'all some super saving niggas today.
How they let me dodge the question? I answered the
Because
question.
we came back around and then they was trying to talk over you so you could get away with it. And you went on mute and then you try to shake your head and look at your computer. I saw it. Why you on mute? It's a broadcast.
What question did you ask me? I'm sorry.
You're supposed to be saying what you think intimacy is for women. You said what it was for you.
I think for women it's the emotional moments. Like from my understanding or how she explained it to me, it's just like the moments where she's allowed to be a girl, like so have fantasies about future and like having a house and stuff like that and being able to talk and me being patient and just speak with her. Like those are the things. And when we cuddle and shit like that, like those are intimate moments for her.
And that's the same thing. But you don't feel like that's intimacy?
No, mom, because it looks different for me. Like I'm not a what do you call it? Touch person, whatever. Like mine's is active service or shit like that. So our love language is not the same. So I don't know. It's just not the same to me.
It's different for
so
everybody.
You think it's intimacy when people do stuff for you?
No, I think it's intimacy when I tell them to do stuff and they do it without no attitude, bro. You know what my intimacy is? No attitude and no disrespect. And if you do that, I feel like, oh my God. And I feel like we're the most intimate we could ever be. Yeah. That's what it is. How about that? Good
Welcome
answer.
to the panel, Lee.
What's good? Hey, Sherelle, how you doing?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm just listening to the madness up here, and it's just kind of driving me crazy, man. So I just had to pull up. First off, Sherelle, I just got to say, the title do say experience is the best teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why would we make an argument that people that are not in the game, right? People that are like basically incels, sitting at home on computers, having a conversation, but not actually getting on the field, jumping off the bench and into the game, right? Just staying, not having sex, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, the better people. Why should we listen to them if at the end of the day, Sherelle, they have no experience? When, okay, you can say the people that's out here fucking making babies, throwing STDs around, that's cool. But one thing they could do is give me some knowledge or give me a example based off of experience. Then, a person that has no experience, like he just kind of just gave up because he heard, his homie got dealt wrong in high school or some shit, or he might do a girl wrong way back when, so now he don't even want to play the game no more. There's no need to really hear from that person. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I think that their perspective is still important. We're going through the topic is experience is better, but we're going through it to see if it is, right? So if like you just have a experience, is that actually resulting in better outcomes?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah, for sure. I mean, because there's a lot of nuance to it, but ultimately when you have the experience, you know how to approach something when it comes to you again. And then I also think having the experience allows you to lessen that jaded factor that I feel happens to so many people. Like when I asked a dude, like we just heard Cheeky talking about, he started bringing up high school to being a reason to why he don't even want to play in the game. He brought up how
he never said he wasn't going to play in the game, or he
I
brought
didn't
high
say
school
that.
to see how
you 29 and you single, right? You 29, you single?
No, I'm not.
You're not single?
Full on relationship. Now what?
Okay, so I thought you were still single. That would have been crazy. But the majority.
Wait. Now that you know that I'm not single, what is being single how that would have changed anything?
Well, the argument you was making before was as if you were saying like because of like it sounded like you were single a little bit. Like 30 minutes ago. You was talking like because I watch women get hurt or I watch men get hurt in high school or shorty got did dirty. I don't really, I guess this whole time of me not being in a relationship or refraining from like being around women sexually is because of that. That's the part I was kind of
No, so
But if
you
you
missed a whole lot then, if that's what you got from me. Yeah, I don't know where he been at, and I don't know where Lee got that from. My point was my point, Lee, was my dad never told me to be a virgin, and from early on, because my dad taught me that sex equates to some level of responsibility, and me being the oldest, that also deterred me as well. The reason for me doing it now as an older person is totally different, right? One, I just don't want to have sex with somebody who I think is not on the same level because of how much comes with sex, right? Do you think it's something that should be just done frivolously or casually with no responsibility or attachment to the person?
no,
So we're on the
that's not
same
what I
page
think.
there, right? We're on the same page there. Neither do I. I think I think I'll be okay with having sex with somebody if I know their ideology, what they believe, their morals, um, their philosophy on life. Like if we, because sex includes or doesn't have to include children, but if I were to have sex with somebody and then get them pregnant, I'd want our ideas to align as well. And so I'd be comfortable enough to do that also. There's other reasons why I wouldn't have sex with somebody too, but no, it's not because I saw people in high school. And
Okay, but wasn't you talking about a story? No, like 20 minutes ago, you was talking about a story.
no, yeah, but
About, like,
yeah, because I was saying
okay,
when I
what
was
did you say
younger.
about right?
Yeah,
Go ahead, go ahead with that.
when I said was when I was younger, I saw that women were having sex with young boys, but girls was having sex with boys, and I saw how that affected women, like or girls. It don't affect boys in the same way. Boys, when especially in high school, boys was having sex and they didn't have no real connection to the girl. A lot of times the girls that did have sex, they really liked them, and I saw them break down in classrooms. They'd start acting weird, and why are you acting like you don't know? I saw it and I was like, that's not cool. You shouldn't do that. Right. And I didn't want that responsibility. I didn't want that responsibility of somebody acting like that because I didn't care about how I treated them or cared about my sexual action having on them. That's how I thought it was when I was younger, for sure. And my reason. But now that I'm older, it's for a completely different reason. Though now that I'm older,
I thought you were still like caught up with that same reason as a grown man, and that's the reason why he was single. And I'm like, why is he like using that? Okay, then I heard you completely wrong. Then I can admit that. Then
no, yeah, no. Now that we're older, now that everyone's past high school, you should have enough maturity and understanding of sex in the world to where you don't get played or put in a situation like that. And if not, I still feel for you, but that's not. I can't. It's not at the same way. Like there was a level of naivety when I was younger. Like, dang, that's how shit go. But that's not how it goes. There's two complicit adults choosing.
okay,
Hey,
so
you're
let me
attracted.
say
I'm
this.
attracted. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So let me say this. But
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, maybe you like walked away from that ideology, right? You was like, all right, that's what little boys how they think, right?
Yeah.
Based off of what you were seeing. But I believe it's still grown men to this day picking up on that same ideology, and I would say the majority of them is picking up on that same ideology, like of thinking like, yo, shorty got hurt back when I seen something happen to some other dude, or something happened between another relationship, and I ain't like how that turned out, so I'm going to use that to not even jump in the game type shit.
I think that's a level of like arrested development, right? Where I think that you should grow and mature based off of your own experiences and just being an adult. So if you maintain maybe a high school perspective, I would challenge that and say you shouldn't, because people mature and grow, and I think you should be able to know that, right? Like we're all adults here, so if somebody wants to have sex, by all means, but don't try to play victim. If you consented to sex as a man and she consented to sex as a woman, and be like, oh, I didn't know any better. Well, if you didn't know any better at this point and you're not a virgin and you're out of high school, I don't know what to tell you. There's not much more I can really kind of do with that. You know what I'm saying?
So
yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
What I'm thinking
I thought you was on a whole different. Go ahead, Sherelle, my bad.
That's what I'm
Yeah, I don't know what you thought I was on.
What you're saying is like, so what you're saying is the goal in the game is to be either a whore or a whoremonger, because experience is what's going to get us through life. So why do we be sitting up here talking about we want somebody to be Chaz, or why do we feel like we get up here and demonize women for being hoes?
I don't give a fuck about what these niggas say, Sherelle. I don't like none of these niggas in the chat. I don't fuck with most of these niggas that be up here. So don't when you speak on me like them niggas, to me, that's what I thought he was just doing. Because me, I'm cool with it. Like, I don't care about the body count shit. None of that shit matters to me because I know in real life men don't really give a fuck. They come up here talking like they give a fuck, but the majority of my vibe is stay out there. If you a single man and you 30, you're a single woman and you 30, you need to be out there getting active. Whatever it is that you love, shit. If you love hiking, you love biking, you love fucking fucking playing what's the shit, the tennis shit, whatever. Get out there and do what you got to do and run into people. Now, does that mean you might have sex a few times? You might. You just might. What the? I don't get why they make sex seem so terrible.
So I think there's a limit though. That my thing is, I don't think
limit to what?
I don't think there's a sex is bad, and I don't think having sex makes you a whore or a whoremonger, right? Those are extreme ends.
That's what I was going to get to, right? Yeah, exactly. That's the extreme. Like, I'm not saying be like just be fucking trying to just have sex with women, no. Or as a woman, you shouldn't just be trying to have sex with men. You're gonna vet them. Like y'all at the tennis court, y'all catch eyes or some shit, y'all talk and shit. In that conversation, you done vetted that this dude a weirdo and he out the door. But at least you had a conversation with the opposite.
Right. So I think that. Again, which is what I kept trying to bring up the other episode is a whoremonger is on the is extreme. A whore is extreme. These two ends of the spectrum are equivalent in being bad, but they're the most extreme. I don't think most women are whores. I don't think most women qualify to be a whore because we already agreed 20 bodies is enough to me. Like, whoa, you wilding. I don't think most women have 20 bodies, to be honest. I just don't. I think most women are, and most men, most average human beings are trying to just find somebody and find somebody consistently, right? So if they like the same thing and they get along and they find each other attractive, they're going to want to have sex. That's normal. That doesn't make you a whore. That makes you a human. Now, when you just do this shit over and over and over with no vet, you just doing it. You're a whore and you're a whoremonger, and that's a problem. You need to go to therapy. Something's wrong, and you're not addressing the problem. You're not addressing. If a man is a whoremonger, you're not addressing something. Something is off. If you're just having endless sex with no care about the end of, you're just doing it just to do it as sport. That's a problem. And I don't care what everybody says. It's our biological imperative. We're not animals. You're connecting with a whole nother person every time you put your penis inside of them. You should be very mindful of that instead of just having sex with them and treating them like.
But that's what I'm saying, Cheeky. It does crazy, nothing though. Like even though you just said all that.
Yeah.
Diddy ex-wife, what was her name? Cassie, right?
Cassie.
Everybody knows she. And look, she pregnant with another dude done wifed it.
And that's crazy. Why? All right. So you know what I'm saying? It don't mean shit. It don't. It really. Okay. It means nothing because some man will do that, but that man may have been a whoremonger too. So in my world, they're perfect for each other. If Cassie is a snow blowing, partying Diddy animal, that person that she's with, he may be that too, and they're perfect for each other. I would not recommend her for me. You want to know why? Because that's not my ideology, my philosophy, my morals don't agree with that. There's no way in any world, no matter how bad Cassie is, that I would recommend somebody like her.
But you making it about you though. But you making it about you. I'm just. I'm saying like overall, it just kind of shows that we say this body count and whoremongering and men don't date whores, but I'm pretty sure this is a good dude. Like I'm pretty sure he a good dude. Right?
Yeah.
I get that you're trying to put the whoremonger title on him to like lessen the fact that she still was able to get pregnant and have a baby and all this other shit. It happens all the time. We don't got to use her. Happens all the time. So a lot of this stuff just be blowing smoke, man. We just like, and I'm not saying you.
No, I got you. I got to dip. I'll be back. But I'm listening. I understand what you're saying, Lito. To be honest.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
What's good, yeah? This nigga bounced in mid conversation. What's good, Hank?
What's good, man? Vitor, what's going on?
How's it going?
How'd y'all do? Y'all did pretty good while I was going.
You got a cold?
Yeah, man.
I fell off the panel, but shout out to Mr. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, you fell. You got kicked off. You dropped out.
It's a glitch in the StreamYard app.
How long you was off for?
Not that long.
Oh,
Mr. Fantastic. I had to take a call too. So. And then it dropped me.
Brother.
That's what's up, man. That sounded like it was interesting what they was talking about. Yeah, man, I gotta go take a nap.
Yeah, you sick. Sure. You might as well just wrap it up.
Yeah, go lay your ass down.
And he still ain't gonna go to sleep. If anybody see Hamp in Discord, kick him out. Leave the room. Every room he come in, everybody leave out the room. Don't talk to him. Mute his ass.
Kick him out.
Hey man, we'll be back with the POV. I'm gonna cook it up. I'm gonna go take a nap. I was gonna go to the gym. I think I'm gonna forego that shit.
Let me ask this question because
it better be a quick question.
Yeah,
and I'll answer it. Go ahead.
It's quick. It's quick because it's something I've really never understood. When people, when they're used to sleeping around with multiple people, what's the reason why they're doing it? Are they doing it for a certain connection with that person, or are they doing to just satisfy something that is asking of the person? Like, why are they doing it? Because I never understood why people sleep with multiple people. Is it for the connection, or is it to just satisfy that moment? What is
pleasure? Overwhelming
pleasure. Okay, pleasure. So it's just to satisfy that moment of pleasure. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
once you realize every woman don't feel the same, then you get curious. And women move and do things differently, and so you like, okay. And then there's a general mantra: there's no pussy like new pussy. And then, that's that. So
because I always looked at it as a connection moment for you to connect with that person, but maybe that wasn't the case. Okay, just for pleasure. Okay.
yeah. Now to your point, connection enhances the pleasure. But
Sure. Yeah.
So there's that. There's a correlation there. Comfortability, connection, love, all that shit. I think it can enhance the feel for sure. But yeah, all vaginas ain't the same. Yeah. Sherelle, what you got, man?
Yeah, this was a good show. Thanks to everybody who super chatted, liked, shared, subscribed, everybody who came on the panel today. Short and sweet. Just to say, whoremongering and being a whore, even though it's extreme, it'll always be problematic. But YOLO. Chastity or chast people virginity, it only matters to the people that it matters to. The people participating in it. And you do not participate in it for the opinions of the world, because the world's always doing something differently, right? So it's really for you. It barely has bearing on other chast people, right? So that's a struggle within itself, but I commend anybody that's doing it, because it's harder than just being a slut. Thank you, Hamp, for providing the space for the conversations. I hope you get better. Go lay down.
No doubt. I'll see y'all later. I think the few are if you run based on what you're doing is right or wrong based on the many, nothing worth having has ever been like that. It's always the few who qualify. The best are at the minimum most of the time. Right. There's a million high school football players, thousands of thousand of college football players, and there's 1,000 NFL players, but you catch my drift, right? The best of the best is usually the few, straight is the gate, but narrow is the way, right? Many would be called, but few would be chosen. So it's regular shit, man. If you with the crowd, question it. You heard?
Did you just say everything I just said?
Yeah.
If you with the crowd, question it is crazy.
Did he just say everything I just said? So you gonna
I
do
know,
it?
except for my last point, which is my final thought, but I'm just saying, if you with the crowd, question it, right? So but it's fun. It's good though.
I like that.
It sound like Lee was cooking when he was up here. Him and Cheeky had a good back and forth. They definitely need to finish that. I missed most of it, so I had a call to jump on. But I'll see y'all tonight for the POD. POV. God damn. I miss my daddy is the topic.
Perfect.
Oh shit, I'm not showing up. I'm nah, hell nah. I ain't gonna have me crying on that motherfucker.
Oh man, so I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. See you in a few hours. Tell a friend.
We out.
Out.